Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, live back in the building. It has been a long week in sports, and we are here to talk about it. We are running the three-man weave tonight. You know I'm not alone. I have the Mad Producer Podcast Poppy in the building.
New studio.
New studio for the holiday season.
Yeah, because when the summer comes, it's gonna get hot as fucking here.
I'm sure it will increasingly get more stuff in the background as
got my One Piece wanted posters waiting. I just need to get stuff.
And we've got my man Breezy in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're only speaking on outlandish stuff tonight, guys.
No
facts, just shit. Spewing out of our mouths.
Well, let's get right to it. I mean, let's start with the most outlandish thing that happened in the last 24 hours. Warriors T-Wolves, 2 minutes into the game. Clay McDaniels going at it, and here comes Draymond with the $1 million dream.
The coquina clutch.
You best protect your neck. You best protect your neck, kid.
1, 2, looks like 3. It took 3 people to get Draymond off of Rudy Gobert.
My favorite thing is as it gets more and more outlandish, you start to realize who's really not doing nothing, and Anthony Edwards is kind of there. He's just kind of there.
That's kind of just there as well.
Cat's also not doing anything because we know, like, Cat's a big dude. He could have pulled Draymond, but Cat secretly also is like, yeah, Draymond, get him.
all I imagine is Cat going, Draymond, stop. Draymond, stop. Let him go. Let him go.
Mm-hmm.
The explanation
in his real voice.
The explanation from Steve Kerr was Draymond saw Gobert put his hand around Clay's throat, and I'm like, I don't know where you see that.
I heard him say that last night and almost fell. I was laying down and almost sat up. Like, nah, Steve Kerr didn't just say that. He didn't just say that. Because I was like, I can't wait. I literally was like, I can't wait to see how Steve Kerr, if and how the Warriors are going to spin this, because they just never see anything Draymond does. Draymond is just always the victim. Draymond doesn't do anything wrong. You guys misunderstand. And on cue, Steve Kerr, yeah, man. I mean, Draymond saw Rudy Gobert grab Clay by the neck, so he just came to defend him. What video did you see, Steve Kerr, that Rudy Gobert grabbed Clay by the neck? Because I'm here to tell you that didn't happen. That did not happen. But Steve Kerr wins the most outlandish thing said this week because, nah. Draymond had a hit out on Rudy Gobert and he executed it.
I can't believe he said that shit. I can't believe he said that shit. And we were talking last night during this whole thing, and we were sitting there discussing, what's that suspension going to be like? Shout out to Dilstradamus.
Dilstradamus nailed it.
I said they go give him
5 games. I said 3 to 5, and Dylan was like, "Nah, 5."
It's 5. There's nothing lower than 5. They're gonna hit him with this, and then all the other like little shenanigans throughout the season so far. 5.
And
his next suspension is probably be 15 if it happens again.
If
it happens again, he's looking at 15.
If he chokes somebody out again, I mean, I would think. I don't know, James. I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't think that's out of the realm. But I mean, this is extreme. Like, this is extreme even for Draymond to be choking somebody out.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if he gets into one of these little skirmishes, it's gonna be 15. If he continues to do the bullshit that he's been doing all year, he's probably gonna get a 10 game. He's gonna get a 10 game if he has a stretch. He can get a nice little 10 game if he keeps having a stretch for kind of just making a mockery of the everything he's been doing. But I've been seeing a bunch of people on Twitter say like when Steph doesn't play, Draymond really doesn't want to be in the game.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I've seen that, and Rudy Gobert said that last night after the game, and he also said what Draymond did was clown behavior. Which, if that's not the pot calling the kettle black when you was touching these microphones during COVID, I don't know what else is. But yeah, I mean,
my favorite is everybody who's covering this talking about how Draymond's got beef with Gobert and was just looking for an excuse.
what it looked like. What it looked like to me. Is what it looked like to me.
He did.
He was looking for a reason.
We all know that he is not the biggest fan of Rudy Gobert.
Mm-mm.
He's been
and Rudy just sitting there, just like, help me, help me, Tom Cruise, help me, Oprah, help.
Let me tell you guys, the way me and Dylan were watching that live in real time, dying, laughing, crying at no one coming to help Rudy Gobert. We could not believe it took them that long to get Draymond off of it.
Shout out to Pat Bev for calling out Cat.
I loved it because
he was like, "What are you doing, Pat?"
He's like, "I taught you better than that. I taught you better than that."
Anthony Edwards was just there. He's like, "Oh well, Carl's over there. I guess I gotta go over there now." He wanted no part, none of that. He was just like, "Man, just trying to hope."
Come on, guys, come on.
What was it McDaniels, Clay, and Draymond were all fined like $25,000?
Yes, they got 25,000, and Draymond got 5 games, which
and
is the equivalent
losing 700, like
700,000. Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
So you know, like we said last night, Dylan, can't wait for that first Draymond podcast. Can't wait.
No, that's bullshit. Fuck Gobert. He's not gonna say nothing about him correctly. He'd be sitting like, "Yeah, Gobert. I saw him touch Clay. I'm like, you ain't gonna do that. I took my chance." The ultimate opportunist, cashing in his money in the bank.
That was, and the memes that resulted in it. Just the internet can sometimes be a great place.
It's a wonderful place. Sometimes it's a cesspool of just nonsense and misery, but NBA Twitter is my safe space because they make everything just ridiculous.
Just ridiculous. How did you feel, James, when you saw? I think you commented. Yeah, you jumped. Yeah, because we were on.
He jumped in like a couple minutes, literally like 4 minutes after.
Yeah, because we had to tell him what happened.
What's happening? James like, what? And we're setting him alternate angles. He's like, all right, let me see this. Whoa.
Yeah. Listen. You best protect your neck, man. You best protect your neck. Who's my boy? Draymond is my guy. He's definitely a Hall of Famer, but he has been out of pocket for at least a couple seasons now. He's been using his championship prowess, his rings as a means to act however he wants to act and talk however he wants to talk to everybody, including referees on the court. And he's been out of pocket for a while now, so this is not something that I'm not baffled by his behavior. Because we've seen him, we all seen the meme of him diving for a rebound, throwing it back in play, and then running in play and tackling the player to stop them from scoring.
Mm-hmm. This is a thing. This is a real thing.
Yep. I watched the highlight reel of all the bullshit he's done earlier, and I was like, he really was out here trying to fucking kill people.
He really, I don't know what his deal is as of late, but he definitely plays like a frustrated old dude. He plays like an old nigga.
Hmm.
Excuse my language.
He plays like a
Just
dude who's
takes a
lost a step, and he's just like, "Oh, you're gonna get by me, foul."
yeah. And you heard the exchange between him and Ant the other night when Ant was
Yeah.
like, "Dang man, you ain't don't follow me like that." He said, "What you thought I was gonna let you go for a layup? Fuck out of here. Think I'm gonna just let you get a layup? I'm fuck out of here. I'm gonna foul you type of thing because you beat me on the step, and now I'm gonna foul you so you don't get the layup. That's completely like I've lost a step. You're better than me, but I'm gonna be super physical, and I'm gonna just take my foul, and you're gonna take your foul, and that's just gonna be it. I'm just gonna be super aggressive, and nah, he's out of pocket.
Get out of here, young blood.
Yeah,
You gonna learn no easy buckets.
yeah. That's why I was happy that Ant lit their ass up like that both nights. I'm a fan of Ant Man.
We all are. Hey,
Yes,
we were talking
we
I
yesterday.
are.
We're like,
might just buy his sneakers this weekend. Honestly,
they look good. They look a lot
yeah,
better
I
than I
like them
thought they
better.
were going to.
I like them better than the Hardens, even though they're like almost replicas. I
They're
like his
almost the
better than
same
Hardens though.
thing. Yeah. I haven't really been a fan of the Harden shoes as a whole. I thought his most recent ones were like the best ones he's done in a while. But then
Hmm.
I really like how they design ants to be a little different and it sticks out, and I'm interested in seeing them. Not even really seeing them
Hmm.
wearing them and try and like playing and like moving around in them. See how we'll be getting on the
Yeah,
court soon. I
I'm
gotta be
definitely gonna
nominated for
go.
athlete of the year at this point. Coming back in 6 months from a torn Achilles. I gotta be up there.
uh, I don't know, man. That guy Aaron
No,
Rodgers, man. He set
Aaron
the trend.
Rodgers, he might have you
Don't
beat.
worry, we don't even have to worry about him because he's not coming back.
I mean,
He's not coming
he
back.
did you a solid. He did you a solid, though.
He put a battery in my
he
back.
he
That's what he did.
he did you a solid by not showing you up like that because he definitely could have came back and you would have been pissed.
No, I wouldn't be pissed because of that. I'd be pissed because like, what are you doing? You're gonna get hurt. Like, don't waste next season because you're a fucking stubborn person who has a war
You'd be
against
pissed
modern
because I wouldn't
science.
let you live it down. You'd be pissed because I wouldn't let you live it down. But like you guys tore your Achilles at the exact same time, same
We
day,
didn't
same time,
though.
same moment, same minute of the day, and he's back much sooner than you.
It's
And
definitely not how that happened.
it happened like that in my story.
Your story is the wrong story. It's fake news. It's
Hey,
fake news.
who's telling it? You or me? I'm telling it.
The history books.
History is told by the winners. That would be Aaron Rodgers.
Hmm.
Will it be? Are we gonna put a wheel spin
Hey,
on Aaron Rodgers playing football again this year?
we saw him out there throwing a football much sooner than he was supposed to be.
And I was taking jump
And
shots
you
in a boot.
and here you were begging to go just to get approved to go to the gym.
Meanwhile,
He's
Aaron
out there.
Rodgers is going to be
He's out there
running in
throwing.
another week.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Going
Not
to be
how that
out
works.
here doing cone drills in 2 weeks.
The thing is, Aaron Rodgers and I are at the same place right now in our recovery, which is
Are you?
insane.
Oh, well,
Are you
Which
yeah,
is
really?
insane. That
he's just
I'm
4 months
literally
ahead of
tore
you.
it in July. Here he is, September, October, November. He's almost about to be 4 months. I'm
I just said
July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, I'm 6 months. I'm 2 months out away from him, and we're at the same place because of his procedure. Like, that's just incredible as a whole. It's still like annoying that I wasn't even presented with that option. Doctors count my pockets. Don't appreciate that.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, I can't afford that.
all I know is when it happened, I told you, Dylan, he has different kind of money and he has
Wheel
different
spin,
kind
he
of
plays again this
doctors.
season, Mike.
It's not what I'm saying. My
No,
point
that's what
is,
I'm saying. Wheel spin, he plays again this
I
season.
Did I or did I not tell you he had different kind of money and different kind of doctors?
Is his different kind of money and different kind of doctors going to clear him to play this season?
They might clear him to
No,
play.
no, 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 no,
But
no, no, no.
is
Are
he
we
going to
putting
play?
a wheel spin on this, Mike?
No, because
Oh, stand on
He's
the
not.
business,
He's
Jets
not
Mike.
gonna
are
play.
not the Jets are not going to be in playoff contention.
Stand
He's
on
not
business,
going to
Yeah,
play.
Mike.
he's not gonna risk
They're
it.
not going to.
He's
If
not
the
gonna
Stand
Jets
risk
on
are
it.
going to be in
business.
playoff,
If
This is what happens when we
if
stay.
Zach was out here getting you guys dubs, he'd
he would
be
play.
itching
He
to
would play.
get back as soon as possible.
James said at the
But
beginning of
because
the
you guys are
podcast
not,
that we're just going to be saying outlandish things. And here's Mike
no, it's not
saying the
outlandish.
outlandish things, but doesn't want to stand on business.
Was it
He's not coming
outlandish when
back.
I said? But
He's keeping
what?
you.
What?
He's keeping you off the hook. Honestly, Dylan, he knows that this will push you to try to compete with him, and you just can't. You
I'm
just
sure
can't.
Aaron Rodgers has zero idea who the fuck I am.
You have. You
I don't
just.
know. We out here in these
You just
streets.
not. You're not the man of him like that. You're not the same man.
We out here in these streets. We got Kenny Burrs shouting us out.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, Dylan,
We
and
out
cut
here.
that out because I don't want to get us demonetized. Please clip that out. I don't want us to get demonetized.
I mean, we're already demonetized. I don't think there's any videos we can post that we can make money
I
on.
mean, we are. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It is a weekly email that I get from YouTube. It is a weekly email, but nevertheless, we're still pushing. We're still here for the people. And like I said, once YouTube completely shuts us down, then hey, we will be a full Twitch
start again.
vehicle. we
We
will be a
start
full
again.
Twitch vehicle. Because you can do anything
I'd
on
rather
Twitch.
not.
Do anything out here on Twitch.
It's very true. Well, most things.
Most things, not anything. Most things. Let it fly on Twitch.
But yes, he was damn near about to give Gobert a noogie.
All Draymond really had to do was just sit right there, just sink it in, and just pull back. He would have got it.
Yeah, just a rear neck choke. Just
Yeah, that's
tap
it.
out right now.
He needs to go to BJJ classes. His white belt's looking dirty right now. He needs to figure it out.
Yeah,
Was it clean?
if he fully got the forearm under the chin, Gobert would be asleep still right now.
Or he could have went for a bulldog choke and just went.
Oh,
chin
the bulldog choke would have been great.
That would have been just like, okay, who's Draymond been training with? Which Gracie's teaching him?
Screaming,
So
say
we
sorry
want
for COVID. Say sorry for COVID. Say sorry, no.
So, are we willing to say? So we're 10 games in. I was gonna wait until we came back from break to play, our favorite game, overrated, underrated. But we can do an early edition on the Timberwolves. Overrated, underrated. They are 7-2.
Underrated.
They're underrated, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to go on record for any of these things because I've completely been saying this about all factors of the season right now. It's only 10 games. It's only 10 games. Everybody is complaining about every little thing, like, oh, Damon Giannis is not playing the greatest. Their defensive I'm like, it's 10 games. They were saying this at game 5. Their defensive rating is
They were
the last team in the NBA. I'm like, game 5. So like this season has been like they've been super critical about every single thing about this season so far. So I'm like, I'm tapped out on giving my opinion on everything so early. I'm sorry, Mike. You're not gonna get that from me tonight.
Come back after Thanksgiving, though. It will be more than 10.
I'm just gonna say underrated because I just really like how Anthony Edwards is playing, and
He's playing very well.
He's playing very, very well, and I don't think many people expected that right away. I felt like that was to be like a gradual, like towards the end of the season, him really, emerging as like that superstar. But he's starting to hit his stride early on in the season, and I think that's what's making them like, okay, we didn't expect this. They were underrated, and now they're really performing. So fuck yeah.
We did expect this, Dylan. We saw this in the USA. On the
No,
USA
Yeah.
so
team, we saw this
I
on the
didn't
USA
expect
Yeah.
it off rip. That's my thing. I didn't expect it off rip.
We all know that normally when that USA team starts and we get a player that has a standout performance on the USA team and during the Olympics, that normally starts the ball to roll for them. And
Well, I expected what's happening with Mikal Bridges to happen with Anthony Edwards, where it was a slow start, but then you're into it after a while. Where Mikal Bridges has started off a little bit slower, not really able to get his shots the way he wants, and then like in the last couple games, really coming into it, like okay, I'm feeling myself again. Like let's get it rolling now at this point. Anthony Edwards just started like game one.
that's because Miguel Bridges was too busy. He was too busy at all the Sabrina games and over the season, off season.
All the Liberty games. Yeah, he was being a good friend and trying to hit on home Asia Wilson all summer.
Should have been in the gym.
I mean, he was being one of the best players for Team USA. So
Yeah, nah, but you knew what that was. He was being an advocate for the WNBA.
yeah, and that's important.
Yes.
But no, it's also like Cam Thomas coming out and just being like, "Hey, I'm just gonna score all the buckets." So sorry, Mikal.
He's another one. Look, give us just not even though we know what your response is. Underrated, overrated on Cam Thomas.
Well, Cam Thomas, it's hard to put him as overrated because he hasn't really gotten the playing time to do it. But he has shown he can do it. He's done it multiple times over the last few seasons where it's like, oh, yeah, he could erupt for 30 at any point. Oh, he could erupt for 40 at any point.
He's
He'd had to
shooting
stretch.
a lot.
He's shooting 50, but before he got hurt, he was 50, 40, like 87. So he's shooting a lot, but he's efficient. So that's where it's like, okay, like he's shooting a lot, but he's shooting it efficiently. So I'm not going to get mad at that. Whereas like a guy like Dinwiddie, who's just chucking up shots.
50%. I don't want to conflate it because 50% can be also 11 of 22.
Yeah, but even still, 11 to 22 is still good.
It's 22 shots.
No, yeah, that's where it's like the offense gets very stagnant when he wasn't, or when he's on the court when like Ben Simmons got hurt. When Ben Simmons got hurt, that kind of hurt a lot of how the offense was working because they were getting a lot of transition points and a lot of threes. So like Dorian Finney-Smith has been a guy who's like feasted so far because he's been able to get open threes in transition. Lonnie Walker has been able to get his buckets in transition as well as playing really well in the half court. So when they can't get those buckets, when they lose Ben Simmons, they go from a top 5 transition offense team to being like 20 in transition. So that's where it's like, hey, I need to take a bunch of shots because the offense is stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where that comes from, where it's like, hey, we need a bucket. Cam, just go shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the offense right now.
Well, he's been hurt. So the offense now has been just a lot more ball movement and like setting up because now Claxton's back. So not having Claxton for the first like 9 games outside of game 1, losing Ben, but then you get Claxton back and then you get more transition points because Claxton's blocking and sending the ball half court and you can push a little bit better. So Cam's underrated because this wasn't supposed to happen. They couldn't find a way to get Cam on the court last year. And he was arguably the team's best offensive player, and you couldn't find a way to get him on the court until he made it undeniable that he has to be there.
So why isn't he starting?
He is starting.
Thought he was going off the bench.
He came off the bench first game.
Been starting ever since.
Yep.
Best player on the team.
To be seen. I don't want to give him that yet.
He's not gonna give him that because he loves Mikhail too much.
No, I like Mikhail, but I also think Claxton is still like the best player on the team because of what he brings.
Claxton?
Yeah. Claxton defensively is
Nick?
like, yeah, Nicholas Claxton. Yeah, he's the most important person on this team. The team doesn't move without him.
That's not what we said. Best.
No, then it's Mikhail. Yeah. Bridges is the best player on the team. For now, I'm completely okay with Cam Thomas becoming that. I want that for him. But again, what do we only count points per game and scoring as a thing, or is it everything else?
You saying he's a better defender than Bridges?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like,
so what are we saying, Dylan?
Yeah,
what
so it's Bridges. Bridges as a complete player, it's Bridges. Because Cam Thomas as a passer is still terrible. His controller is nothing but shoot buttons. Remember that meme from like 2008 of like what Kobe's controller would look like?
Yes.
That's what Cam Thomas is.
Times a game, yeah.
That's what Cam Thomas's controller is. It's just nothing but shoot buttons.
And dribble.
And dribble.
Sometimes. My problem with Cam Thomas is he needs like some accessories. You can't keep coming out wearing just a pair of sneakers and like ankle socks. You can't do that.
Ain't shit
it's
funny.
infuriating. It's infuriating.
Ain't nothing funny, James. Ain't nothing funny.
He did hit a logo 3 on Damian Lillard and just stared at him, which I thought was hilarious. he literally shot the 3. So we're a fan of Cam, and he got his braces off. Good for him.
So it's still early. So he's got what, 2 years left of this deal? 3 years?
2.
I'm gonna leave it alone. 2 years is too long. I'll leave it alone.
No, ask your question.
Is he gonna be, because the way that salary cap is going, is he gonna be a $40 million a year player?
When his contract is up, Ben Simmons' contract's up, Mikhail will be on the expiring end of his contract, Dinwiddie will be gone, Claxton will be either, because his contract's up at the end of the year. So it all depends on what the roster looks like.
He's either going to be re-signed or gone.
So it's like, it all depends on what the roster looks like.
I'm not saying for the Nets to even give him that money.
If he's going to average 6 points a game, then like,
you project him to keep this going, then that makes him a $40 million a year person.
If he keeps it up, then yeah. Because how could you not deny a guy who's scoring 27 a night?
Because of all the holes in his game that we mentioned.
How much did Jordan Poole
get?
That's
looking like a bad contract right now, don't it?
But like,
any player that scores 27 points, any player that scores 27 points is going to get the bag. Any player.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter.
That's where it's like, if he's gonna score 27 a night, he's gonna get a bag somewhere.
Yeah, because
that's elite level scoring.
Because at the end of the day, the name of the game is to put the ball in the basket, and if they can get a guy that can do that consistently every night, his defensive efficiency could be off the wall bad. His assists could be below average. All that can be true, but if he can put up 27 points, they're gonna give it to him.
And then on any given night, are up for 50. Like, those are the type of guys the league looks for. So if he keeps it up, I would love to see him keep it up. I can't say he's going to, because I haven't seen him do it, because I haven't seen him play a ton. I've seen him play enough to be like, this doesn't surprise me, because I've seen him do it again. 2 years ago against the Knicks, comes in off the bench at halftime without playing a minute and puts up 30 and then hits the game winner. So it's like, okay, maybe we got something with him. He just wrote defensive is worse than a cone. At that point, he was terrible on defense. This year, he's trying, but like he's 22, 21 years old.
Oh, he's not that young. He got to be 23, 24.
He's in his
Nah, he's
third year,
young.
Mike.
I'm gonna check right now.
And if he got drafted at 18, he's got to be 21.
Yeah, man. Cam's all right.
He's 22.
Okay, so then yeah, did he just turn 22?
22 and 33 days.
Okay, so he just turned 22.
Last month, yeah.
So no, I would like to see him do it. It's good to see him get his opportunity. I can't.
fun stat. Before coming into this season, he was averaging 10.5, 2 rebounds and 1 assist. This season, in 8 games, he's averaging 27, 4 and 2.
If he keeps it up, he all but locks in most improved player.
Yeah,
because
for
that's
sure.
a massive jump. And we
Yeah.
said this a couple weeks ago when we
17
were
points.
talking.
Shit.
When
10
we were
to
talking a
17 is a nasty jump.
Yeah, right. And then we were saying a couple weeks ago, we're like, if he keeps this up, he's an all-star. Like if he keeps up
Yo,
those scoring numbers.
17 points is crazy. We were just saying that we needed RJ to increase by 5.
4, 5.
And this dude is doing 17.
Yeah.
Cam's a bucket. He's got a unique little bag there where he just is a hop step mid-range jump shooter from wherever on the court.
6'4",
But
190.
you know what it also may be though, because a lot of players that have random jumps like this, like it's different for Ant because his was gradual. He's been in the league for a couple years, and he's been a starter for a couple years. So there's tape on him, and they just can't stop him. The thing about Cam, I don't think there's
There's
much
enough tape.
paid attention. Not enough. No, there's tape, there's footage, but not enough focused footage on him because he didn't play a lot of minutes.
Yeah,
He's never
and-
been the highlighted person on the scouting report. He will be the highlighted person on the scouting report. Him and
he
Mikal
was
Bridges.
the last time he was the highlighted person on the scouting report was last year, where he had after the trade where he had the 4-game stretch of 40. That's when he was like, after his second game, we played another team and then the Clippers, and then he gave the Clippers 50. And that whole game was just like, there's nothing anybody could have did because he was just unconscious. He has a unique little bag. I would like to see. Paul George made a great point when he was talking about it in his podcast, where he was like, once he can learn how to control the game with his scoring, that's where he's going to take a massive step. Because right now he's just getting buckets. Once he can figure out how to like control the game and pace it out better, that's going to be a real problem. But he's young. He's young, and this is what happens when you get this young kid in a locker room with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and he thought he was the best scorer there. He would go into these press conferences and be like, I'm better than Kevin. What are you talking about? The irrational confidence, except
he's got that Kyrie Irving irrational confidence.
It's the Dion Waiters level irrational confidence where he's going to hit 2 threes and then shoot from the logo for no reason, except Cam makes them.
So, and I want to make it clear, Kyrie has irrational confidence,
but
Kyrie is a whole monster, though. That's why Kyrie has irrational confidence, because Kyrie is an
at that point,
monster.
if you're that good, is it irrational? Or is it rational? It's not, because every Kyrie's right to take these shots.
And Kyrie's not reckless with the ball, so maybe irrational is not the right word for Kyrie. Kyrie has a lot. Kyrie's irrational confidence was when he was challenging Kobe, telling Kobe he would beat him in one-on-one when he was a rookie. That was irrational. Because no.
Right now, who's the irrational confidence guy in the NBA right now?
Jordan Poole.
There it is.
There
James
it is.
Wins. Wait. We got Gotta give it James wins. Oh, I messed the button up. James wins. We can move on. My
Yeah, what
mouse
are you
is-
doing, Mike?
Ah.
What is this? What's
mouse.
happening
It's
here?
the, it's
What's
the
going on?
mouse. It's the mouse.
Mike, just buy a mouse.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Jordan Poole is the
All
irrational
right.
confidence guy. I will never let Roz live this down. As the Nets should trade for Jordan fucking Poole. No thanks. I'm all set. Last thing I need is that guy just taking half court faders just because. Goes 0 for 5,
Bring
makes
the
a layup.
ball up.
I'm hot.
Or bring the ball up. We got numbers. Actually, I'm gonna slow down, try to shoot over a 7 3-footer.
Why?
block.
Because I'm hot. I'm hot.
I'm
That's
hot. You saw me
why.
make that layup, bro. I'm hot. A microwave. All I needed to see was the ball go in. He's the guy. We need more guys like that, though. That's what makes the NBA great. Is those random guys who are just going to start chucking shots. We need your Deion Waiters, your Nick Youngs, your fucking who the fuck else who used to play on the fucking Bulls? Yeah, it'll come. But yes, the NBA needs more rational confidence guys. Marcus Smart is a rational confidence guy. Like, we love that. Too bad he's not on the Celtics anymore to ruin that. J-State, you're the best player? Nah, I'm shooting 10 threes tonight. Nobody's gonna do anything.
Marcus is unique though because he has irrational confidence, but he also is not afraid of the shot.
No.
And that's where it gets lost sometimes. Sometimes it's just a matter of he's not afraid to take the shot that nobody wants to take.
It's the infamous, like, every year the Celtics are in the playoffs, I'm known for is like, where's the Marcus Smart scorched earth game? Where he's just gonna go nuclear and just burn the place down because he's hot. It's a guarantee. Whenever he's in the playoffs, you're good for one. You're good for one. And it gives Celtics fans aneurysms. Because you never know when it's gonna happen.
Smart is a dog, though. He can be on my team any day of the week. Wouldn't take Marcus Smart on your team?
It's because of the irrational confidence. That I'd be like, I'm also on record for years being like, maybe the Celtics should get rid of Marcus Smart for like the last 5 years because of that. I blame the bubble. I blame the bubble for because that elimination game where he shot more than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown was like, maybe the Celtics should get rid of him.
I mean, them boys didn't want it. Marcus wanted it.
Yeah, now Marcus is not there. And the Celtics are the best team they've had.
They also got a bunch of better role players around.
And a better version of Marcus Smart.
That may be true.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's move on. Clippers.
Stink. Yes. Clippers stink. There's that man, Board Man. One of James's favorite players. Board Man gets paid.
Mine too. The NBA world's favorite players. Just not you.
I mean, he's a good guy.
Yeah, Mike was in here, known Paul George hater, praying to the basketball gods for the Knicks to find a way to get him.
I don't know what you're talking about because on cue, Pandemic P showed up last night.
Nothing
Nuggets.
worse for the Paul George brand than to shoot a wedgie for the game prior. Especially with Mike here.
Pandemic P decided, yep, it's been a minute. Let me make my first appearance this year. Oh, we need a 3 to tie the game in clutch time against the defending champs. Let me shoot this wedgie. That's what I'll do. Shoot a right.
Yet
Clank,
if the Knicks were to
clank.
have traded for Paul George last night, he would forget that
I
that
would
wedgie
have to.
happened.
I would have to. I would be very, very upset and have to
He would
deal
go to
with
the group chat and
wedgies.
just cleanse the chat of all the shit he was just talking.
Wedgie.
It never happened.
I I saw him throw up a wedgie. Ko I saw Kawhi throw up something terrible. It
What
and
team
can
is
we talk
struggling?
about they're struggling? Ty Lue decided to go small. He tried to go with the small lineup against the Nuggets, which I
Ew.
understand him trying to go small because he's got to get that lineup. The Nuggets ain't the team to try that out with.
When you
That
got
was
one of
not
them
the
like best player in the world at center thing, like
yeah.
you
That's
kind
not
of can't do that.
not to mention Aaron Gordon was out here terrorizing them last night. Like
Yeah,
you
because
got to get
they were double teaming. He was just he was just taking control of the double team. Like when he was just getting open shots. That's all it really was. He wasn't terrorizing anything. He was just making his open shots when they passed him after they double team. The thing that was frustrating to me, which is warranted because obviously Joker is a superstar at this point. What happens is
Understatement.
he does the Kevin Love grab under your arm when I'm
Yep.
posting up, cause cause
Bubble hooks.
contact.
Yep.
Yeah, and like in the refs, they're blind eyeing. I hate that. Like, oh no, you grabbed him like while he's clearly grabbing every
As
single guy
Jokic
that's
grabs
playing
his
him.
wrists and
Right? Like,
makes him in
yeah,
contact.
like that's the only thing that frustrates me. Like, call the game the right way, man. Call the game correctly. My God. Just call the game correctly. If they call the game correctly, these games that have different turnouts. If he gets a couple of those offensive fouls, that game turns a different way. But because they want to call it superstar calls and allow him to do those things where the defensive player can't even play regular defense, then that's where you are.
so you agree with Ty Lue that the refs had something to do with them losing last night?
I mean, I wouldn't say they had some missed calls, but the outcome is the outcome because of his lineup. But they did miss a lot of calls that he was creating the contact versus them actually fouling him. So I think there's context to the refs blowing the game. It wasn't just a game blown because the Nuggets they played better than the Clippers overall. Though they played better than the Clippers, but you can't not acknowledge the calls that they did not call.
Okay. I don't know what you expect when you have Kawhi or Paul George guarding Joker because they're not going to be able to guard him in the post without fouling him. But
No. That's
okay,
not true though. That's not true because if you go back and watch if you're rolling your eyes now, if you go back and watch the highlight of late game defense played by Kawhi on Joker, you will see Kawhi was playing decent defense on him, and then he immediately spun one way, and as he spun the other way, he wrapped his arm around him and got the foul call. He did it two possessions in a row. You do that two times, they're gonna automatically now double team because they're gonna think that they need a double team because if they don't double team, they're just gonna call
because
foul. And now that when
he
they're double
can't
team,
guard him.
he is creating the foul. It's
Is
a
it not a foul?
handicap. Not if I grab you and they call a foul on you, that's not a fair foul call.
But if
Is that a fair call? If you're playing
yes,
playing fair defense without fouling me, and I grab you and they call a foul on you
cannot
while I grab you,
You can't grab me. So what do you think the switch through move is?
Dylan,
Yeah, but they got
am I
rid of
not
that for the most part.
They still call that. Is that not a foul?
It's
what?
not the rip through
The
jump
rip through
shot.
move. That's a foul. Like, I'm sorry, that's a foul.
It's
It's
not
a foul
because you're
because your hand.
initiating the contact. Because if the hand is there and you're doing the rip through and you're initiating the contact, that's not a foul. It's
But if
absolutely
you're in
not a
the
foul.
post, if you're in the post,
They only
and I'm doing a post move where I'm, dribbling and posting up, and I'm moving you because I'm bigger and stronger than you. That's that's exactly what a post up move is. Yes, I'm
No,
initiating the
but yes,
contact.
but when he's
And
hooking
if
on
no.
the spin to get position, like a lot of guys do that don't get called, that is a offensive foul. That if he's hooking, getting away with it, and they're getting called for the foul, that is not a foul. And if we're gonna ignore
perhaps
superstar calls,
I'm not saying
Let's
that he
not
doesn't get
ignore it,
superstar
Mike.
calls, but we're not gonna act like Kawhi can just man up and guard Joker in the post because
he
it's
can't.
not
No, but
he
it
can't
also
do
doesn't
that. It's
help
like he
if
can't.
you're getting called for fouls that aren't
That aren't
fouls.
fouls.
Like that's doing you no favors if you're already at a disadvantage and then you also are getting called for fouls that you're just not doing. That's a lot.
Why Paul George? I even saw James Harden on Joker. Like, what
No,
are we
why
doing?
that lineup is out there and why those guys are guarding Joker is a different conversation than the one we're currently having. Because that's all on Ty Lue. The refs have nothing to do with that lineup and what
But
Jokic was doing to those men.
exactly,
Yes,
but it goes hand in hand to me because they're going to foul him. That's the only way they're going to stop him is
they're
by
going to
fouling
foul
him.
him, but they
So then
again they're
don't
already at a
complain about
disadvantage.
fouling him about the calls when you're fouling him. You're like, I don't know what you thought was going to happen when you just thought that they was going to stop him in the post. That's
So you
no.
already know you have to foul. It doesn't help when you're getting called for fouls when you're not. That's what the point is. If I'm pushing back, I
So,
extend my
so
arm, I'm pushing, I'm slapping down, I'm doing all that stuff, and I'm fouling, cool. But if I'm getting hooked and I'm getting called for that foul, that's where it's like, what are we doing?
but they were also playing very physical with Joker too.
You have
Like
to
it's a,
when you're that size. That's where it's like it goes hand in hand. Like I'm not
so he's
disagreeing with you. They
allowed
have
to
to
be
foul.
physical also. He's
Yeah,
allowed
but
to be
he's not
physical
allowed to
also.
hook.
Is it? Come on,
That's
man.
that's
Let's
where
be
that's where
responsible
we're
here,
not
Mike.
playing.
Let's
We're
be
not playing
let's be
the
You're
responsible,
making excuses for them. That's what you're
no.
making
I'm
excuses
not
for them.
because again,
Mike.
just like James said, the Clippers
They can't
played
guard him.
worse
That's
than
the point. They
they
can't guard him.
can, but you have to also acknowledge the fact that they already know they're at a disadvantage. They know they're going to foul or they have to foul on certain possessions.
Let
But
the
when
foul happen.
Jokic is getting away with doing hooks and they're getting called for him initiating that, which is an offensive foul, and they're getting called for the foul, that's where it's like, okay, like I know I'm gonna foul, but call me for when I foul. Don't call me
Yeah,
because
let me
he did
foul him.
that.
So
That's
Yeah,
again,
more so
let
what
me
the
foul
argument
him and
is.
so
go foul.
so,
Like we know we
so
can't guard him, and we know we're at a disadvantage. Don't give him more help.
Yeah,
Like
like honest refing is that's a mismatch. And when they foul, I'm gonna call you a foul, and then I'm gonna come up to you and be like, "Hey, that's a foul. You know that's a foul. Well, what am I supposed to do? Hey, I can't help you with that. That's a disadvantage, but you're fouling. You can't do that. I'm not gonna call a foul that you haven't made yet because the offensive player created the contact. That's an unfair call. That's not a fair call.
you think it's a bad call?
And if you
That's what you're
got
saying.
a moment, Dylan,
I got it. I'm
I
already way
posted
ahead of
a
you.
video and yeah, because that is evidence right there. Be responsible with your platform, Mike. Look,
because
look,
I
look,
just
Yeah,
look,
I
yeah.
just saw
look,
Kawhi.
look.
I just
Yeah,
saw Kawhi
yeah.
foul him twice. I just saw Kawhi foul him twice.
No, you're allowed to, but Mike, you're allowed
No,
to
you're
So,
bump
not.
back.
You're
No,
playing
hand
both
check.
sides
watch,
because
watch,
that's a
right?
foul. That is a foul. Kawhi is
That's not a
grabbing him.
foul.
That is a foul. You
He
cannot
did
do
not
that.
grab him. He
So
put
we
both
have.
hands up.
He did not put both hands up. He grabs Joker's arm. What are you looking at? He grabs his arm right there. He is grabbing him.
No,
That is
look
a
at that
foul.
hook. Look at that
You
hook right now. Look at that hook right now, Mike, and tell me
Yes,
otherwise.
look at the hook. Look at Kawhi's arm. Kawhi's arm is he's holding him. What are you
Mike,
talking about?
I want you to
Kawhi's holding
rewatch this
him right
and watch how
I'm-
that arm got there.
where you freeze it right there. He's grabbing him. He cannot do that. He cannot do that.
Mike, he
He
already
just
was
pulled his
established
jersey.
like this. What are we doing?
So again, you want it both ways. You want to be able to play physical, and then when Joker plays physical, you can't do that.
No, so hold on.
He did
So
one
so that's
dribble.
It's not
That's
blame.
not a
not a
hook.
foul.
That's not a hook.
That's not what
not a
we're
hook.
talking about. That's not what we're talking about.
That's not a foul. That
Neither is
what is
this.
about
This
to,
is not
what
a
is
foul.
about to happen is a foul. That is a foul.
Do you
That
not
is a
see? You
foul.
want to know how? Do you see how his arms got there? It's because Joker extended his arm.
He did not extend his arm. Where is he extended?
His arm. Look,
Show me where it's
his
extended.
arm. His arm is in Kawhi's chest right there. Look, right
He
there.
is because he's being
He
held,
goes from
James. He's
Mike,
being
he
held.
goes from
Y'all are
this
not seeing
position
him being
to
held.
this
Y'all
position
don't
and
see
brings
him
it
being
up.
held. He's being
Mike,
held.
Mike,
He's
you're being disingenuous right now.
You guys are fighting to prove a point. He held him. He grabbed his jersey. So how did his jersey get grabbed? How did that jersey get
Okay,
grabbed?
so I just saw
How
that.
did
I just
how
saw
did
his
the
jersey
jersey
get grabbed. And you want to know what happened with his jersey getting grabbed? He still had a fist. He wasn't doing anything there. That's not a foul. The foul got called.
You cannot
Right
grab
there.
his jersey.
That's where the foul got called, right? How did his arm get there? How did Kawhi's arm get there?
Because he grabbed Joker and Joker spinned. My point
You see
to
right here?
all of this,
I need you
to
to watch
my
right
point,
here.
right here. That
Watch
is
that.
Kawhi grabbing him. That is Kawhi grabbing him. That is why his jersey's moving, Dylan, because Kawhi has him. That is why.
So now
There's
I
no
want you to do me a
extension.
favor.
There's no extension.
But
There's
that's
no
not
nothing.
where the foul was.
But what I'm saying is Kawhi has already fouled him. That's what
Then
I'm
call
saying
the,
to
so
you.
then call the
Kawhi
foul
has
there.
already fouled him. And
So
y'all
if we're
are
doing
saying
that,
didn't
Mike,
happen. He
Mike, if we're doing
already
that,
fouled.
you know what else needs to be a foul?
So
Him slipping his arm right there
So then again,
and then
don't
ripping up judo throw, judo hip toss.
Again, it's either we're playing ball and we're letting it be physical, or you call it. But you can't foul him and then get mad when he retaliates and does a move to counter you fouling him.
But guess what? Guess where the foul is called? There. That's where the foul was called.
But this is what.
So there's two
but
fouls.
you can't
So
say
let's-
that, Mike. The
let's
reason why we
humor
say
Mike
you
here,
can't say
James.
what you're saying. The reason why we're saying you can't say what you're saying is because if they allowed him to play physical, he just misses that shot. But because they allowed him to play physical,
fine.
no, if they allowed him, but because they didn't allow him to play physical, because they allowed him to play physical until Joker created the contact, then it was a foul. Let them play all the way through. You can't say what you're saying, but
you're telling me that it's not a foul. You're telling me it's not a foul. That's what you're telling me, that it's not a foul.
If you're letting that happen, right? If they're gonna let those little
Is
things
it
happen,
a foul?
It's not.
So if we're gonna go by what was called and what's not,
so there's no contact when he shoots that shot. Whether you think it's soft or not, did he make contact with Joker when he attempted the shot? Because
No.
the answer is yes.
the answer is no.
There's no contact. Play through.
When he
There's no
attempted
contact.
the shot, right there, no. That's where the foul was called. Not
Go
on the
back.
bump, Not on anything there. The foul was called on the hook. The only contact that's there is Jokic barring him with his arm right there. That's the contact, and that's not a foul.
Rewind it. Because there is a foul on the attempt.
Where?
I can I mean, I
say
don't
he
know
hit
if
his hand. Hand is considered ball.
Yeah.
So you can hit the hand. That's why guys who hit hands on jump shots don't get called for fouls.
Or layups, or fast break layups.
So that's why it's like all the contact came before that. But the foul is there.
Always called on the hook. That's why Kevin Love gets that called all the time. That's why Cat gets that call all the time. That's why Joker got that call right there. It's because he hooked under his arm and created the contact for the foul.
Not hook under his arm, James.
Yes,
Kawhi
Mike,
grabbed him.
Look how the arm
grabs him. Kawhi grabs him. Kawhi's grabbing him right now. Kawhi is grabbing him right now.
He's grabbing his arm? He's grabbing his arm?
Kawhi is grabbing
he's
him.
Not.
Kawhi is grabbing him. Kawhi grabs him. This is what y'all are. Kawhi
I need you to watch
has
right here, Mike.
him. Kawhi has him.
Here.
Right here. Kawhi has him.
He didn't grab his arm. Look where Jokic places. Mike, I just need you to stop for a second and just look where Jokic places this arm. Watch him dip the arm.
Who is holding who?
Dip and rip. That's literally what he's doing.
Did Kawhi grab his arm?
No. I'll give you he grabbed the jersey.
Then how did that happen? How did that happen? How did he get that part of his jersey without grabbing him? I'm watching it, but y'all are denying it. Kawhi grabs him.
Fists are balled up.
That is a grab. And Joker does a move to get away.
He didn't.
Now, if you want to say play on, then we can say play on. But don't tell me that Kawhi didn't grab him because Kawhi grabbed him.
Don't tell me Jokic also didn't foul him.
He did not.
Yo.
That's crazy.
I hate
that, Mike. That's crazy.
I hate it.
To see that we get to right here, where he literally moves his hand up the arm, is crazy work, Mike.
I don't understand what you want him to do when he's being held. When he's being held, I don't know what he's supposed to do. I don't know what he's supposed to do. You, because you guys are the basketball savants. Tell me what he's supposed to do. He's being held in one arm, and he's supposed to somehow.
Who's being held right here?
He's getting away.
You tell me who's being held.
Wow.
Because from what I see, from many a year of doing martial arts and being a fan of MMA, this man is about to do a judo hip throw.
Hip toss.
And you can only do that if you are the one who is holding. So both things can be true, Mike. Kawhi could have made contact, pulled the jersey a little bit, but again, when you put your fist on your jersey and you move, it's going to tug. You can do it on your shirt right now. We can watch it live, right? So you call that a foul? Fine, that's a foul. But to say Jokic didn't do anything here when he goes from here to here, dips, rips, brings his arm up to the wrist, as we see right here, yanks, and then goes and puts up the hook shot and say that's not also a foul is crazy work.
He did not yank his arm. Stop it.
Wow. We have it right here, sir. Like we have the footage right here. Like that's crazy, Mike.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
Like that's crazy.
I am completely blown away. For someone that has watched basketball for years and understands the game is being completely naive right now. I am blown away.
No,
I am lost.
What I'm finding out is that y'all don't play in the post. Y'all don't know how post game works.
Oh no, you don't know about me, Mike. You don't know about me.
That makes no sense.
It makes all the sense.
You can't. So what you're telling me? So then let's go on record then. So then Shaquille O'Neal was just offensive fouling everyone then.
Yes, I've said that. Yes, he was. Mm-hmm. He was. The same way
And
Giannis offensive fouls
we
everyone.
can move on. We can move on.
The amount of people that caught stray elbows by Shaquille O'Neal and didn't get called for fouls, yes. Like if you're gonna, like what are we doing here?
We can move on. Shaquille O'Neal was fouled on almost every play.
Correct, but again, both things can be true. You could be fouled every play, and you could
So
also foul everyone.
Again, he's retaliating. He has to get himself free. I
But
don't
it is
know
a foul,
what you're
regardless.
supposed to do. What you're supposed to do.
You could not dip, rip,
You can
try
do
to
what
set
when
up
someone
for a
has
judo
your
throw.
body. Someone has your body. You're
Like we
moving
saw
to
him
get out
have
of it.
Kawhi's body.
And
That's
that
what
is
we're
how
ignoring here.
Kawhi's arm got there because Joker's trying to get free. That is what I'm telling you.
Joker
That is
brought
why
it
it's
with
not
him. Mike, what are we doing?
That's what I said. Y'all don't understand what I'm saying because you're penalizing him for being stronger than him. He's getting fouled.
That has
He's
nothing to do with
reacting.
That has nothing to do with being stronger.
That is what is happening, and that's what I'm saying. Y'all, we can move on because
Kawhi's got
we're never
position
going to
like
get it.
this. He dips.
Kawhi does not have position. Kawhi has him. There's no position. He's holding him. He's holding him, and Joker is getting free. That is what's happening. He's pulling himself off of him. That is not a move against Kawhi. That is him getting away from Kawhi. And because he's stronger than Kawhi, Kawhi is going with him. That is what's happening. But you guys don't seem to understand it. And you want to say that that's Joker committing an offensive foul and not an aggressive act, not a flagrant, but an act towards Kawhi. That is not what's happening. He is getting himself free from Kawhi holding him. That is what's happening there. That is exactly what's happening. That's why we can see Kawhi grab his jersey. That's how Kawhi's arm gets there in the first place. That's how Kawhi's arm gets there.
He didn't grab his jersey. His fists are balled up the whole way. He starts here and moves here. The jersey moved with him. Kawhi, at no point in that film, went like this.
Of his jersey.
He didn't do this at all. He started off like this. That's the crazy part about this.
We can move on because the jersey moves, and now we're saying that the jersey didn't move.
Okay. I never said the jersey didn't move. But, Mike, I want you to do me a favor. Take your fist. Take your fist. Go like this.
Now move your arm.
It's not going to work on mine because I'm wearing a tight shirt. Jokic is not. Mike, humor me here. Put your fist right here. Put it right here. Put it right here. Make a fist and put it there, Michael. You just put your hand. All right, no. Put it there. Move it up. You're not even participating with me. You're doing something completely different. I'm doing here to here. You're like, you know exactly what you're doing, Mike. you know exactly what you're doing.
This is going off the rails.
The shirt's gonna move.
The
shirt's gonna move.
It's not gonna move.
All right, Mike. Remember when, James, you said we're gonna just be saying outlandish things today on the podcast? I didn't know you were gonna set the fucking tone.
I am blown away by my.
I'm in absolute awe right now. Do you think Giannis knocking out Torrey Craig's teeth wasn't an offensive foul?
I don't even remember the play.
Oh my fucking god!
Pull it up, show me. Pull it up.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Tory. This is why this podcast goes for 2 hours. Oh, no. I gotta go to YouTube.
COE, content over everything.
I just don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm baffled. Like, I'm seriously lost for words.
Drive the baseline. And the DeCupo cut off there by Torrey Craig, who
did he punch him in the face?
He's still down.
Huh? Got hit with an elbow. Got hit with an elbow.
Connaughton fired the three. And Torrey checking to make sure all of his teeth are in place, and they're not. He picked up a tooth off the floor, maybe a couple.
That's a couple. Rodney Mott, you looking right at it, man.
One, but two score here is Craig. The toughness or the heart of one Torrey Craig. A 66-54 score here is Craig. Not one, but two shots from Anthony Cupo. There's the elbow there.
Yeah, and that's the elbow wasn't on purpose, right?
Is that an offensive foul?
Yeah, he hit him. It's incidental contact, but yeah, he hit him. That's not a flagrant, but
Jokic. We can move on.
those are two completely different things. But
They're not.
okay.
Well, one guy lost his tooth. The other guy got set up for a judo hip toss.
Did Kawhi get hit in the face? Did I miss that?
No, but he did get set up for a judo hip
Oh,
toss.
I was just wondering because you said it was the same thing, and I just saw Torrey Craig lose a tooth. I was just wondering.
I mean, you could have also listened to me and said, "I say, well, yeah, one guy lost a tooth, one didn't, but they're both."
Did Kawhi get hit in the face?
Are you
Did Kawhi
ignoring
get
what
hit
I'm
in the-
saying just for the sake of ignoring what I'm saying?
You said it's the same thing. I said, did Kawhi get hit
You're
in the face?
ignoring the
and then you
preface.
said, so it's
You're
It's
ignoring
not
the
the same
prefix
thing.
of the whole entire statement that I said. You're taking
so you're
part of my
saying-
sentence.
so. What are you saying?
I'm saying offensive fouls were committed and offensive fouls weren't called.
So the whole point of that was because they didn't call the offensive foul.
They didn't call an offensive foul, just like in the Jokic
So
series.
so those plays are the same.
Yes, because two acts were committed that would be deemed fouls that were not called fouls on the offensive player. But you agree one of them was a foul because the guy lost a tooth.
Because he got hit in the face.
But Kawhi getting set up for a judo hip toss.
Set
Is
up
not a
for a
foul.
judo hip toss, which is an exaggeration because that's not what happened. He didn't get
That
set
is
up
exactly
for
what
anything.
happened.
That's
He got
not
set up for a
what
judo
happened.
hip toss. If Jokic wanted to, the way he had him, all he would have had to do is just pop the hip. Kawhi's done. Kawhi's flipped. I've been hip tossed. I've hip tossed. That is the technique, my friend. How Jokic is doing, he's probably hanging out with Khabib and them, fucking throwing bears around the way he did that. He knows what he's doing.
We're saying we can move on.
The pot calling the kettle black.
He's setting up for a judo hip toss. All right.
The pot called the kettle black. We can move on. What's next? Are the Clippers in trouble?
No. Well, it depends on what you mean trouble. Are they going to win the NBA championship? I don't think they are as currently constructed. So they're in trouble from that. Are they going to miss the playoffs? No. They'll be fine with that. Will they win a round? We'll see. We'll see. But it depends on what your expectation is for the team. They're in trouble if you think they were going to win the championship. They're in trouble.
I still think it's too early to say that. They're in trouble to win the championship. There's still 72 games to play.
They're in trouble to win the championship because they can't beat Denver.
I think no, I don't there's not many teams I think can beat Denver, but I don't think they're one of them. Ty Lue needs to figure out how to coach this team. That's the problem here. I don't know if Ty Lue knows how to coach this group of ball players. It's a lot.
He can do.
It's a lot different than just having LeBron, Kyrie, Love, and then a bunch of like role players. There's not a lot of role players on this team. I don't know if you can win without role players.
That and they have 8 guards on their team. That doesn't help.
I don't think the whole guard thing matters too much when you have a lineup of 6'4", 6'4", 6'7", and 6'10". So, like...
It did last night.
Well, again, how many teams in this NBA actually have centers?
They can't get to the championship without going through Denver.
I know that, but I'm saying as far as the season goes and matchups, right? They could probably figure out a way if you can figure out if Zubats or if they acquire Tice can just be physical, because we saw the way you beat Denver is by bullying Jokic with size, right? So if they can get their bigs to fight back, really, how much more can you do? The problem is you need your role players. I don't know who the role players really are when it comes to like a rotation and how they're going to be deep into a playoff run if they go 8 deep, because again, once you get to that point, you're really only going to be playing 2-3 guys, but you got a 4-man lineup of guys who have to be out there like all the time. So that's more so the worry, is how is Ty Lue going to coach these guys up? Like, you have 4 superstars, 4 guys who at the top of their game are all-time players. Who's diving on the ground? Who's going to be in the right place at the right time? The perfect example is, who's going to be Bruce Brown?
They don't have that on. Well, maybe PJ Tucker, but they don't really have that.
Who's PJ Brown? Who's Sam Cassell? Who's Eddie House? Who are those guys on this championship team? Who's James Posey? Like, just going back to like that 08 Celtics team. Let's go. Who's Sasha Vujacic? Like, who are these guys who are going to be playing these dirty roles to make it happen?
They don't have that. They don't have to. Like I said, they'll be fine in the regular season. I'm not worried about them in the season. Like I said, depends on what your expectation is for them in the playoffs. If you think that they're going to or can win a championship, I think they're in trouble, because their size is going to be a problem when they have to play Denver, when they have to play the Lakers, if they have to play Milwaukee, if they have to play
The
Philly,
Lakers, I think
if they
they'll
have to
an
play
easier time
Boston.
with.
Like, they're going to have trouble with the size of those teams. God, if God just made everything perfect, if they had to play the Knicks, they would be in trouble because they're small. If they're small, they'd have a problem with
They're
all
small,
of those
but
teams.
like, the offense doesn't run through the center on a lot of these teams, right? So like, if they played the Knicks, you could pull Mitchell Robinson out, right? They could get what they want by attacking Jalen Brunson and by pulling Mitchell Robinson out,
I'm not
unless they're
worried
just going to
about
play in
them.
a 2-3 zone, right?
I'm not worried about them scoring. I'm worried about them defensively. Their
And
problem last
again,
night wasn't
the Knicks
scoring,
offense doesn't run through Mitchell Robinson, so,
but it does run through Julius Randle.
and we know how that goes in the playoffs. So
They're still small. They're still small for that, though. It causes problems because it forces double teams.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to argue how the
I mean,
the Knicks,
the Knicks
how the
just
Knicks.
beat them.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not going to argue how the Knicks are going to match up with the Clippers in May, in November, right? Because we don't know how it's going to turn out. Because it could all be,
Milwaukee,
and again,
Boston, they don't match up well with those teams.
no,
'cause they're
but
too
good thing
small.
those teams deal with them, and they only have to deal with the teams they deal with. Denver is the biggest mismatch for them. I think the Lakers in a playoff series, if they can figure out the coaching aspect of it, I don't think the size of the Lakers is too overwhelming, because Anthony Davis disappears and is soft for the most part. So it's like,
it's still Vanderbilt.
it's still Anthony Davis.
Wood. It's still Wood. Like,
Christian Wood doesn't rebound or play defense. So
he did when they played last week.
Again, these are I can't. We go later on into the year. Things are to be different. We know what the Lakers are in the playoffs. We don't know what this Clippers team is, right? That's assuming they stay healthy. I think they match up against it. It's just well against the Lakers. I still think the Lakers are the better team, but I still think they could win that series. The only team I'm really worried about in the West that can beat this Clippers team, if everything is perfect world scenario, is Denver. Denver is the worst possible mismatch for them because they have elite big, like, who could just offense. You don't have to worry about him playing defense. Your center doesn't do that. So he just gets to kind of just be there, eat up space, and just facilitate and just ruin you. The only other guy who's going to do that from the center position is on the East Coast, and they're all going to fight each other. Where it's like, yeah, Embiid, Boston, and fucking Milwaukee are all going to fight each other to do that. And by the time they get to the Western Conference, they're going to be beat up. because they have to go through just size and good defenses. But it all depends on if the Lakers can meet the Denver Nuggets early in the playoffs and they match up and the Lakers figure out a way to get that, and if it turns out to be Clippers Lakers, that is a more even series than Clippers Nuggets. Where I would pick the Nuggets in a sweep against the Clippers, where I would say the Lakers Clippers would probably go 6 or 7. Because it's hard to predict how playoffs are going to go 10 games into the season, but it's also like once you get to playoffs, you throw everything you know out the window. It doesn't matter if you swept this team in the regular season. That shit changes. It's a new game.
Exactly. That's the point I make it. You just start looking at matchups, and matchup wise, they've got problems defensively.
Yeah, but then it's like they have the problems defensively, but on the perimeter, if you could convince a Paul George, a Kawhi Leonard to just buckle down and be those guys, they are a problem.
Well,
and it presents with a different type of matchup issue. But again, if let's say the Clippers and the Knicks met up in the regular season and the Knicks swept them, right? That doesn't matter in the playoffs. It's a completely different game.
any team with size is going to give them issues. There'll be a good matchup.
We thought the same thing about the Golden State Warriors, right?
There'll be a good matchup for Phoenix. They'll give Phoenix all they might be able to beat Phoenix. Golden State.
The problem is they have size. Just right now, Plumlee's hurt on the inside, and you get a guy. If you get Tyson, like you have depth, you have good depth. That's solid depth. Zubats is not a bum.
I never said he was, but he's one man.
Yeah, that's why it's good to have you go from one man to 3. Then you're like, okay, you're looking pretty good there. So that's why it's size. They're not horrible size wise. Your problem is Russ and Harden. That's a combo of both because Harden can still give you buckets, right? Russ can too. It's just they don't work on the court together.
I don't think they're gonna outside of the opening tip until Ty Lue. Well, Russ wasn't on the floor last night. Russ was not on the floor, so it already begins.
Russ that's why I'm like I can't tell you what a real. I don't know what this Clippers team is or can be until Ty Lue figures it out. I haven't seen the best version of this Clippers team. I've seen nothing but shit versions of this Clippers team.
They need more reps. They need more games. They didn't practice at all this season. They made the trade and the season started. We all expect these superstar players or the vet players when they construct these teams together to just click automatically and not look at them as human beings. It's not fair to give that assessment that way. And I don't think they're in trouble because it's only been 10 games into the season. I think that they need to figure it out, and I think that they will figure it out. They're Ty Lue, he's doing it at the wrong times though. His adjustments he's making are too late into the game to be doing those type of adjustments, and the teams that he's making these adjustments against aren't the ones to pull that shit with. Like the Nuggets aren't the team to just say, "Oh, let's go small ball in the last 2 minutes of the game." No, he's gonna get himself fired doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Hopefully, he doesn't have to do that when reinforcements make their way over there. But I think it's kind of just out of necessity at this point. Did Zubats have foul? Was it foul trouble at that point?
Yeah, he had 4 fouls.
The final 2 minutes, he needs to be in the game.
Yeah, exactly. No,
he needs to be in the game. No, that's all coaching.
Yeah,
that's what it's like.
If it's the final 2 minutes, you let him foul out.
Yeah, all hands on deck. I don't care if you're in foul trouble, you're on the floor.
Especially
you just go to your big man and you say, play honest, hard defense. I don't care If they call it, they call it. But you go out there and you play defense with your feet and not your hands. And if they call it, I'll challenge it. I got your back. You empower your players to play the correct way.
Yeah, that's why my main
Awesome.
point is Ty Lue needs to figure this team out. Like the players will figure it out the more reps you get. Ty Lue needs to figure out his rotations. He needs to figure out who meshes well with what. Once Ty Lue figures it out, I'll put more confidence in them. And that's me is like that's why it's like once we get to the playoffs, I'm sure they will have already figured it out.
Like, and it really frustrates me that James Harden really doesn't know what to do if he doesn't have the ball. He doesn't cut with his head up. He doesn't do anything if he doesn't have nothing. He just turns into a body on the court without having the ball in his hand. And it's really disheartening because it's like you can do so much more if you just play basketball the correct way. If you just cut to the basket without the ball, if you just move around without the ball to get yourself open, get to the corner, get to the take off ball screen or something like that, create a diversion and stuff like that. If he just played ball the correct way, he'd be so effective in his role. But he just wants to have the ball in his hand, like there's those highlights that we just saw over the past couple of games of him. The shot clock is running down, and he just backs up, wipe his sneakers off to do a couple dribble moves, and then shoot an air ball. Like that is not gonna get it done. It's not gonna get it done. And it hasn't gotten it done for you, in
For 10
ever. It hasn't
years,
gotten it done for you.
not
It
one
hasn't
time.
gotten it done for you. The only thing that it has gotten done for you is gotten you an MVP, and that's it. So you have to got to be
And the
open minded.
streets
But
love you.
the NBA has empowered these players so much that you can't say anything to them. So they made this bet. They got laying it.
He doesn't. The clips of an old interview keep popping up. He's like, "Oh, catch and shoot three. I haven't really done that since OKC." It's like, yeah, we can fucking tell. We can absolutely
Hmm.
tell in how you play. It's high usage, ball dominant with three other guys on the court who are high usage, ball dominant. None of
Yeah.
the only like Paul George knows how to play off the ball, right?
Yep.
Kawhi to
Hmm.
an extent knows how to play off the ball.
But he's getting
older.
he's getting older, and he's getting increasingly just ISO ball himself. Because if you watch Kawhi when he doesn't have the ball, there's a lot of time where he just kind of stands there and he just watches. He doesn't move. He doesn't really do anything. He just kind of watches. Maybe
That's
he's
on coaching.
he's older. Maybe he's older. Maybe he's trying to catch his breath. Maybe you're right, Dylan. Maybe it's
To
coaching.
be
But
honest,
if you watch,
Kawhi's
he just
game,
kind of stands there.
he does. But to be honest, Kawhi's game, his game will be so effective if they used him as if he was a big man. If they used him to be a post player when the game slows down, he'd be so effective because he that's what his game used to be when he first started, but then he got better offensively with his handle and creating his own shot and stuff like that. So he added more to his game. And me and Dylan, we talk about this all the time. They got rid of specialty type of players. Like, there's nothing wrong with going to the same move over and over and over and over and over again, like the old school players used to do. Make them have to adjust. Make them have to adjust. That's why we get so upset with LeBron, because it's like, Bron, you can go 1,000 miles an hour every time. You can go balls to the wall every single time. You could push the ball into the rim every single time if you wanted to, but you want to do this. You want to show this part of the game. You want to show this part of your game, that part of your game, where you can just abuse it until you have to try to adjust.
Like
That's
he
what
did
a
early in
lot of
his
players
career.
should just do. Yeah, just do that. Make them adjust. But
It's hard because even if you do use that as like your primary offense, all right, we're gonna make Kawhi this post playmaker. Who are the cutters? Who are the open 3-point shooters? Because
Russ, we saw it in the first couple of games. He had like 10 dunks in the first two games by cutting.
Russ and Paul George are the only two guys who are gonna be willing to do that. And then like, where's your 3-point shooter? It's James. but James can't
It has to
catch
be
and
James.
shoot.
It has to be James.
He has to sit there and now
It has
change
to
his
be James.
game to be glorified catch and shoot man.
But that's the
And he
thing.
doesn't want to do that.
I think that he is. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what
It's
it
the
really
ego.
is. He doesn't want to do it, and that's what's making it difficult. It's not that he can't do it. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to dribble. He wants to showboat. He wants to make you look funny when he does it. He wants to have the highlight and stuff like that. He doesn't want to just catch it and shoot it. They don't want to win by a comfortable 20 by just doing those easy things. And the other guy can be PJ Tucker, but his shooting efficiency has gone so down since he was on Milwaukee. I don't know what happened.
It's broke. It's broke, and his confidence is gone because he passes up shots now too, and that's a terrible sign. When they start passing him up, that means his confidence is shot, and it's not, especially when you're older like he is. That is not a good sign. Luckily, he doesn't need the ball, so he doesn't really care. But
No, he doesn't care about any of that. But there's gonna be games where he's gonna be like 0 for 4, and it's like, well, if they could have just gotten one of them, like what James said, God, like a month ago at this point, it's just like, oh man, Philly would have won this fucking game if PJ Tucker just made one shot, just made
Yeah,
one shot.
if he would have made
It's
one,
just,
they would have won.
it's just frustrating, man. I said this last week where I just don't know where you get your role player play from 4 superstars. Because Russ is going to be the only one willing to be like dirty work man. Paul George will get his, but like you have to pray on the 15 minutes you get from Man and Powell. They're impactful enough because like, yep, you're only going to get like 10 or 15 staggered. So see you later. We got to play these guys 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes.
and when those guys come in the game now all they really want to do is shoot because they got to get theirs in the few minutes that they play, which is exactly what's happening to Terrence Mann right now because he's just, I have to shoot when I get the ball or I'm just getting cardio because
Yeah, I'm never going to touch it. So
he
ball
doesn't want to
dominant,
do
high
that.
usage. I've never been a fan of having multiple guys on the same team that do that unless like you have those abilities in your game. That's why Harden, Kyrie, and KD worked well because 2 of the 3 guys were willing to just like, hey, James, you do your thing, but they had 2 guys on the 5 who were willing to do the dirty work. Where it's like, oh, Nick Claxton's going to cut backdoor, screen, alley-oop. Oh, Bruce Brown's going to be open in the corner for 3 while also being available to be in the right place at the right time. And then you have Kyrie, who's a bucket, KD, who's a bucket. James Harden just like, oh, third option. Here's mad assists, all this shit. This team, there's not enough dirty work guys, and I hope Lou can convince somebody on that team to just be like, hey, we need this.
I tell you, man, the more and more we watch games in today's basketball, even though we hate the move that KD did, we start to appreciate how good that Warriors team were with all those superstars and how they was able to put the Eagles away to the side and play as a team. We start to
Extra
appreciate
pass.
it more because they were able to make the extra pass, take make the unselfish plays, take the back seat whenever they wanted to have somebody else take the better shot and stuff like that. Run plays. That's the craziest thing. You got 4 superstars, maybe even 5 on the
It
court
was
at the same
about
time.
winning. That was it.
Yeah,
It was winning.
like nobody runs plays, and that's a reason why the Nuggets are going to be the most superior team this season if
They,
the other teams don't get it together
because
because
they
they
run
run
plays.
plays.
They know how to
Like,
use their
what is the
personnel.
problem? Yeah,
They know
what's
what
the
they're all
problem
good
with
with.
listening to your coach and understanding your team, like knowing your KYK, like know your personnel, like you just said. Like, what's the problem with knowing that? I don't know. I don't get it.
Dudes, it's selfish.
the crazy thing is, like, you get Russ to commit to this Clipper team for like $4 million. For him to do that is like insane because he didn't have to do that,
Nope.
and
For you to sit him.
you didn't have to. He didn't have to do that, and now you put him in a situation where it's like you can't even get the best version of Russ with this current team.
And we were looking like for a week that we might get that best version of Russ. And then now Russ had a tragic career to me. Tragic.
He had a fall from grace, a nasty fall from
So,
grace, and it's not even
The
his
only
fault.
the only good thing I see for Russ this season is he's not going to get the blame for this team losing. Harden's going to get all the smoke.
Yeah, because I don't know after this season how anybody could, like, I don't want to sound like this guy. I don't know how after this season anybody can try to bring him into a team.
Unless he's taking the money Russ is taking right now.
Like, I just don't fully understand how you could do that because of the massive ego and the willingness to burn the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Like he does not care.
Like, I don't understand it. I think that I'm not a system. I don't need a system. I am the system. Like, that's like completely
Wild.
tone deaf.
To say that you was held back in Philly when the MVP is on the team is wild. Wild. So Joel shouldn't get the ball. You should have gotten the ball. That's what you're saying. Wild. Got Doc fired because Doc had the nerve to say, give the ball to Joel.
Doc got himself fired.
Well, Doc had himself.
I was gonna say, don't blame James Harden for Doc getting fired.
Harden in
Blame
Game
Doc
7 didn't help. Harden in Game 7 didn't help.
Doc was getting fired regardless.
He was. And that's because Harden's boy was ex-boy. That clock was ticking. But shout out to Kevin Durant playing every game this season.
Who would have thought that
Lord
he's
knows
the healthy one?
He's the only one.
Who? Shout out to Kevin Durant for being the healthy one on this team.
Shout out to KD.
Because, like, that's crazy. We're slowly going to be approaching that point where you can't have Devin Booker in any awards. Or Bradley Beal make all NBA or any of these guys.
The Jordan the sweating meme, that is me for my Devin Booker for MVP. That is, we are rapidly approaching that because he is not playing at all. And there's only so many games you can't play before done. Would you say in a way too early outlandish pick that Ant might be MVP right now?
Way too early outlandish pick. Because Luka Doncic exists.
Yeah, it's probably Luka, but Ant's balling though.
Tatum too. Like, what are we can't ignore all these guys.
Got it. Hey, there's only one MVP. It's only one. It's only one.
Really,
Way too early out. My prediction was Book. That's the horse I picked, and like I said, I'm already sweating. No, already, and not because of how he's playing.
He played?
Devin Booker's played 2 games. He's played 2.
See, I said 4. Oh my Lord, I'm gonna be done by Christmas.
Yeah, he's. I just looking right now. Out of the last 10, he's played 2.
Christmas.
You might be out at Christmas.
I might be done by Christmas. Oh man, and he was healthy.
He was the healthy guy last year. Well, no, he got hurt a little bit last year. Never mind.
You picked Joker. You picked Joker.
I picked Tatum, right?
You picked Tatum.
Yeah.
Anthony also picked Booker.
That's not a shocker, though.
No. Rod's picked Kawhi.
Well, now that the James Harden trade happened, that like When the James Harden trade is on the speculation, you can't pick a teammate because you getting James Harden automatically disqualifies you from MVP.
Can we give Ross some credit? It's only 10
Or
games.
Grizzlies.
Outlandish. Rockets win 40 games. Ross is on pace.
Yeah, we
He
give him
is
credit.
on pace. On pace. It's early, like James was saying all night. It's early, but he's on pace. He's on pace. I don't think it's gonna last, but he's on pace.
How many games have Kawhi played this season so far?
I think Kawhi's played all but like 3. I think he's played like 10 already. No, because they haven't played 10. I think Kawhi's played probably 6 or 7. If I had to guess.
Kawhi Leonard has played 10.
He's
played in every game this
Kawhi's,
season.
Yeah, Kawhi's been playing. Roz also said
every
Kawhi
game
was going to
so
play
far.
60 plus. He said that.
Yep.
Give him that credit. Because I know I did kind of chuckle when he said that. But
I
then,
also did.
But remember, Kawhi said he was going to give the league what they wanted. He was going to give them what they needed. It's not working out too well.
Kawhi's playing really good basketball. You're not going to win MVP averaging 20.5 points, but he's playing really good basketball.
He's only averaging 20?
Yeah.
I thought he averaging more than that.
I mean, look at the team. He's not going to average more than that.
But I thought he was going. I would have thought he would be at like 24, 25 right now.
No, because he's only scored over 20 once.
No, in 10 games.
Yeah.
Wow. That I would not have guessed.
Actually, no. Hold on. Nope. In his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It only showed me his last 5. In his last 5, he's only scored over 20 once.
But he did it in the first 5, pre-Harden.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cancer. It's a cancer.
He actually, in his first 5, 23, 25, 21, a stinker where you put up 8 and then 38.
Cancer.
And then immediately once Harden got there, 18, 17, 26, 14, 15. I mean, he takes away shots.
James Harden be the one that makes Kawhi verbally become a diva? I've heard the whispers about him backstage and his diva tendencies, but could James Harden make him verbally say something? No. If James Harden does that, listen. You make Kawhi mad. Yeah, you make Kawhi mad enough to say something in public. That's a different level. Like
you get Kawhi Leonard to go on Paul George's podcast and be like, "Fuck James Harden."
Oh, I'll tell you. Oh. But other than that, I mean, outlandishly early, all of our predictions for the most part look good, except Spurs win 45.
That's still in play.
It's only been 10
but games.
They've won 3.
Okay. And what happens when they win 6 in a row?
Who's that?
Spurs.
He said Spurs.
Gotta win 45.
What happens if they win 6 in a row? Will it all just be like, oh, nope, they're back in play? They were never out. It's only been 10 games.
That would just put them at 500. They'd still be behind the pace.
Okay. How many games are there left? 72?
I don't know how many they've played.
If it's only 10 games.
No, it's more than 10 because I know they were 3-8. So
11, 71. They only need to win 42 more games. It's a long season.
That's not picking it up. I know that. I know
you're already going to get that wheel spin for Wemby winning Rookie of the Year.
They get to 10 games under 500, you in trouble.
Nah.
They get to
Depends
10
on
under
when.
500,
Depends on when they get
you
there.
in trouble.
Depends on when they get there.
Wemby
But we don't
winning
speak
rookie of
like
the year.
that here. You're gonna
Wemby
have to
winning
eat
rookie
that
of the
wheel
year,
spin,
it's in
Mike.
trouble. Well, the problem is they're all playing like rookies. Nobody's being outstanding. Like they're
Wemby's
all.
already got it locked.
So as long as they're all close, he's gonna win. Someone has to play above and beyond to get it. But it's early. Somebody might take off. But if it stays close like it is now, he wins. He's gonna win.
It's not close because that award's already in San Antonio, just chilling in the freezer. It's on ice. It's there. NBA already made the decision. I guarantee you, if you go to ESPN's Twitter page, there is a Wemby highlight within the first 5 posts.
Did they play tonight?
I don't think so.
No, they played yesterday.
So let's go.
Yeah, they got their doors. They got their doors blown off yesterday. You're right. But I do know that James also picked Orlando to win 45.
Paolo Banchero just hit a game winner against the Bulls tonight.
Yep.
6 and 5. No, James is good. Yes, no, James is
5.
good. James is good. No need to worry. No need to panic over there.
Yep, 6 and 5. They have a better record than the Knicks right now.
Don't say that. Mike's gonna get upset.
They have the same record as the Knicks, and the Knicks beat them. So the Knicks.
The Knicks are ahead of them in the standings. I mean, they're ahead of the Knicks in the standings.
They're not. I'm looking at it right now.
They're not ahead of the Knicks in the standings?
They are not ahead of the Knicks in the standings. No.
No.
The Knicks are 6. The Magic are 5. I mean 9. 9.
They have the same record, but then they have the same record, but the Knicks already beat them. So the Knicks are above them.
Yeah, it goes Knicks, Nets, Hawks, Magic.
Why are the Knicks ahead of Brooklyn? We got a better conference. No, y'all got a better conference record. Why are we above Brooklyn? I don't care. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I don't know what happened. Just last night, they were ahead of them, and they had the same record. It was completely flipped last night. The Magic were like 5th or 6th, and the Knicks were.
The Knicks. I don't know. Well, no, you said Orlando played because the Knicks won tonight. So
yeah. So
I don't know, James. I can't explain it to you.
The Knicks lost last night, and then the Magic didn't play yesterday.
Knicks tape. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. Knicks tape. 3 and 8, Dylan. If they get to 3 and 13, you in trouble.
Still a whole lot of game left.
Trouble. 3 and 13, you in trouble.
3 and 13. That means there's 16 games played. They still got 6.
Start ringing the alarm. Who
knows? They could win 42 straight. It can be done.
This losing streak has knocked the Clippers out of the playoffs.
The Clippers are 12th right now. Jesus.
Yeah, as I said, temporarily. I mean, like I said, I'm not worried about them making the playoffs because they're better than Utah.
What's going to be interesting is the Spurs have a back-to-back against the Clippers. That might be what the Clippers need.
I would say Clippers need that. Clippers kind of need both of those games. They kind of need both of those games.
They definitely need both of them.
But see, Dylan, this is what I'm talking about. Wemby could be a problem for them.
Wemby is a freak. That's different.
If they get Zubac in foul trouble, that could be a problem.
They may just put Paul George on him or Kawhi and just force him outside.
They put Paul and Kawhi on everybody.
Yeah, but like they're strong enough to just be like, "You're staying out here, buddy."
And that is true. Kawhi could probably move him with the claw. Just
with that
move.
massive mitt of a fucking hand, a fucking cast iron frying pan of a hand. Just steer him around, but go right there, hand check him. Just like, all right, you're going this way.
All right. You want to talk about the Buffalo Bills?
Do I?
Hmm.
Boy, do I.
Difference in opinion
I
about
saw I saw a post. I saw a post, but I know if you ask Roz, he'll say he has a theory that I keep in touch. But I saw a post on ESPN that says, it probably wasn't ESPN, but I did see a post that said that the way that people are talking about Dak is Dak's interception is how they should be talking about Josh Allen's interceptions.
No, you saw that in the
I don't
chat.
know.
It's me.
You saw that in the chat.
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it in
No,
the
but
chat. I
it's
saw it somewhere
definitely
else.
been all over like Twitter and stuff too. And it's the way people shit on Dak Prescott for the Cowboys is so ridiculous. Because like you have people like Anthony who shit on Dak Prescott for no reason. Because he turns over the ball when Josh Allen has led the NFL in turnovers every year since he's been in the NFL. And now he's having the worst year of his career turnover-wise. And we're just sweeping it under the rug. But Rain Dakota Prescott gets chastised, killed, if he throws an interception. And it's just because he's the Cowboys quarterback.
That's the only reason. Because James, you be in the chat, you see Rod's going his long rant about Zach Wilson and how much he turns the ball over and stuff. You would think that he leads the league in turnovers or has at any point during his career, the way Rod talks about him. No, it's not Zach. It's been Josh Allen. It's been Josh Allen. And it's gonna be Josh Allen.
Death taxes, Josh Allen leads the NFL in turnovers. Not just interceptions, it's fumbles. And the Bills firing their offensive coordinator is the ultimate like scapegoat move of the year so far.
Miami Hurricane great Ken Dorsey.
Ken Dorsey had no business getting fired. It's not Ken Dorsey's job it's not his job to make sure like Josh Allen has to not throw interceptions. It's not Ken Dorsey's fault Josh Allen's throwing interceptions. It's not Ken Dorsey's fault that Josh Allen is fucking up basic handoffs.
And was going to yell at his running back about it until he saw the replay and had to sit down and shut up. Because he was ready to yell too. Looked at the replay. Oh, I dropped the ball. All right, I'll just go sit down.
And then, like, on top of that, Bills defense being hurt and just letting anybody score on them. And then the dumb it's not Ken Dorsey's fault there was a 12-man on the field penalty. It's not Ken Dorsey's fault that there's a pass interference that got called at the end of the game. Like, these are all not Ken Dorsey's fault.
Pass interference.
It was a pass interference, but it's not Ken Dorsey's fault. But these are things that start to fall apart.
Do you blame Ken Dorsey for them benching Cook after the first play of the game for that fumble? Because I didn't like that either.
That's a very Bill Belichick move.
So you're saying it's McDermott? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I understand why you do it.
One of them made that call. And one of them doesn't have a job today.
I understand why you do that.
I don't.
But
I don't like it. Because
there's a saying in the football world where ball security is job security. And Big Bill in New England has been very famous for if you fumble the ball once, you're out. So James Cook being their best running back, they probably should have given him another shot.
Especially since it was the first play of the game, and it was the kind of fumble where he got stood up and the guy came from his blind side and just ripped it out, like punched it out. Like it's not like he was running with the ball up in the air and somebody poked it out. Like
That's also not Ken Dorsey's call.
one of them made that call, Dylan.
That's McDermott.
So,
actually, if you want to be real here, it's either McDermott or the running back coach.
no, because if running back coach Ken Dorsey makes that call or McDermott makes that call. The running back coach can be like, I'm tired of telling him this, blah, blah, blah. But he doesn't have the power to do that. It's one of them two.
Yeah, I don't think it's Dorsey. I think that was
because
McDermott.
one of them two are the only two that okays that. Like someone can make a recommendation and suggest, but those are the only two that can be like, yeah, no, take him out.
Yeah, that's McDermott.
And one of them doesn't have a job today.
Yeah, McDermott's not a bad coach. So McDermott shouldn't be on the hot seat at all.
I think he should, actually.
I don't think he should.
Depending on how the rest of this season goes.
I don't think he should because there's a lot that's going against him that he's trying to work it through with. It doesn't help that his quarterback is a dodo bird. I'm notorious in here for being the guy over the last however many years of this guy's career. I'm like, Josh Allen's stupid. Josh Allen is a dumb football player. Josh Allen doesn't protect the football. He doesn't care. He just plays football and it just happens, right? Not saying he's not great, because he is great. He's really good. But he's reckless with the football. And for Anthony to just ignore everything that's like happening right now, just to be like, well, look at Josh Allen's resume. Josh Allen and Dak Prescott have the same resume.
They do.
It's just one guy leads the NFL in turnovers and the other guy doesn't.
One guy's never mind.
One guy's
but
black.
I disagree with
one guy's not.
I disagree with you on the coach thing only because I don't think that he's a bad coach either. But I do think it may be getting to the point where they just need a new voice, where it might be falling on deaf ears, where they're just tuning him out because it's been the same message with the same result for years and for a few years now. So it may not be so much he's a bad coach as in they just need a new voice because it's deaf ears now. It's the same repetitive message.
I would agree with you if your two most important players in your defense were healthy.
That's why but I'm not saying he should be fired. I'm saying
you have to make the seat's warming up.
Seat's got to get a little warm.
I think he gets passed because of this.
I think we got to see how the rest of this season goes.
Because their defense is giving up much more than they normally do, and they're not getting the takeaways that they normally do either.
If they tailspin, then we might have to really look at it. Same thing with Dable. As much as I hate to say it, if it tailspins and turns into a dumpster fire, the difference with them two is Dable is yelling at people on the side. That's not a good look.
Yeah, Dable.
That's
Dable
not a good look.
Is dangerously close on losing the locker room with how he is doing it. Like I'm okay with him yelling and screaming at Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. I'm not okay with him yelling at Danny DeVito like that.
Yeah,
like that kid's not ready. And
Danny DeVito.
Play call. His name's Tommy. But all of the sports world, we just all have just started calling him Danny. That's it. That's his name. Like we were literally
until he earns Tommy.
When he came in the game at the Giants Jets game, we immediately they were chanting Danny DeVito when we thought the Giants were going to win the game. They were chanting Danny DeVito at the Jet fans, and then the Giants did that thing where they fucking suck. So
they lost in the most Jet way possible.
So yeah, no, James, the sports world, the football universe has collectively decided his name is Danny DeVito until
he earns it. Until he earns his own name back. So him yelling at Danny DeVito on the sidelines is a little tone deaf. Is a little tone deaf. You can't yell at your practice squad quarterback who's in there doing his damnedest. Like the practice squad quarterbacks are the
Trying.
guys I will always defend because they shouldn't be playing. They shouldn't be in there. And if you're going to put him in a situation where he can't succeed because your play calling sucks, do not yell at him because of that. You should be yelling at yourself. Don't do that to Danny DeVito. That young boy didn't do nothing to you. And then you got Saquon arguing on the sidelines. Like,
that's what I'm saying. If he lose, that's why
Abel's
I agree.
dangerously close.
I backed off because I agree with you. He's flirting with losing that locker room, and if he loses the locker room, then he's got to go. I don't think that happens unless they start the spiral, because that team thought they was going to the Super Bowl. And if it falls apart like this, there's some characters on that team.
The only way that seat gets warm is if he loses the locker room. He's in danger of losing Diggs. He's in danger of losing Diggs, but we all kind of knew this going into the season.
But how big of a voice is Diggs in that locker room? We will find out.
We will find out, but I don't know if it's going to really make a difference because Gabe Davis also isn't that guy.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, look at Dylan being right about that. Look at Dylan being right.
Inconsistent.
He had that 1-5 touchdown game in the playoffs. It just is. Josh Allen is riding off the coattails of almost winning a playoff game. That playoff game in Kansas City.
He should have won that game.
Could have, should have, would have.
Let them down. Defense let them down.
And I think that's where Anthony's still his head's at, where it's nobody is getting more credit for an almost win than Josh Allen. Because we've seen year after year after year of him getting beat because of poor play. That one game against the Chiefs was the best football game he's ever played in his career, and they lost. And then year after year, the last 2 years has been, oh, hey, there's Joe Burrow. Oh, Joe Burrow's gone past him.
And again, it's kind of been the defense. It's kind of been the defense, but
I mean, Josh Allen last year in that playoff
he's not
game was
helping.
the reason they lost. He was the reason they lost last year. He played good terrible.
Last year. He didn't play good last year. But
he was very bad. But these are the things. And if they get rid of Diggs, Josh Allen's in trouble. Because if we remember Josh Allen before he got Diggs, he was, a turnover machine.
He was a turnover machine.
He was a turnover machine. And then the second year, he got a little better. But then when he got Diggs, he took off.
And that's what happens when you get talent around.
When you get a top 10 talent. Now Diggs is just like, this guy is just unbelievable. This guy is unbelievable because he just gives the ball away so much. So that's like a situation to monitor. But again, I don't see with McDermott just getting canned or being on the hot seat. There's too much on the injury side, on the defensive side of the ball that's preventing them from playing Buffalo Bill football to win these games. So it's like you losing Trey White, whatever, you do that. You've already lost Trey White multiple times in the last 5 years. Losing Matt Milano is a massive loss. You can't just replace elite linebacker talent, especially coverage linebacker talent.
That hurt. I would agree. But I will say, I don't think. Well, we'll see with Diggs because
Well, now the Bills have to play the Jets, and
the Bills,
for whatever reason, the Jets just know how to play the Bills.
It's going to be a very interesting game because let me tell you something, Dylan. If Buffalo loses to the Jets, that seat gets very hot.
I think it's
5 and 6.
If they lose to the Jets, I think it's like, okay, what's happening? If it's 4 turnovers to the Jets, then it's like, okay, hold on, timeout.
But Dylan, what's the only way the Jets are going to beat Buffalo?
Turnovers. It's the only way we've ever beaten Buffalo. Is turnover.
So again, if they beat Buffalo, that seat gonna get real warm.
Yeah, that's
Real
gonna be a
warm.
tough one to lose. They they
Can't wait to
cannot do
see.
that. They
Can't wait to see if you call it. I can't wait to see if you call it.
because
Actually,
yeah,
we can make the prediction. Yeah, we're not gonna be on again until that game starts. Who you got?
Jets Bills.
Yes,
It's very hard to pick the Jets.
in
Anyway,
Buffalo.
it's very hard to pick the Jets at all.
We picked them last week. We
I
all
did
picked
pick
them
them.
last week. We came together as a family and picked them, and you let us down. Let
I
us
mean,
down.
we had a possession in which 3 touchdowns were scored, and then no touchdowns were scored. So that's how that game went. So
Look at Zach Wilson
if the
start.
Jets could score a touchdown, we're probably gonna win. That's how it is every week. If the Jets can score 1 touchdown, we're probably gonna win.
Yeah, I had a team meeting this week too, so that should be good
Yeah,
for
and
a
he probably
touchdown,
got
right?
Michael Carter cut. Great.
So that should be good for a touchdown, right?
Maybe. I hope so. I hope CJ Uzama doesn't see the field anymore. So I hope that's the other. Like Saleh said, there's gonna be a bunch of personnel changes and shit like that. So cutting Carter is good because then the rookie Izzy Abanikanda comes up and gets some playing time. And hopefully third down is Brees Hall or Dalvin Cook and not fucking Michael Carter, which never made sense to me. I don't understand it. But I don't know.
Well, I'm picking Buffalo.
I know you are. I'm going to pick the Jets because like it's the thing to do. As a Jet fan, it's the thing to do. I'm not going tank commander because I don't think it matters at this point. Like, if you're not going to get Caleb Williams or Drake May, kind of doesn't matter. This draft is stacked elsewhere. You win or lose, if we end up in that 13 to 15 spot and you're going to get rid of Zach,
just go get one of them top flight wide receivers. That's what I need to go with.
Yeah. If we end up in top 15,
yeah,
that
real talk.
Well, Marvin's going to be gone. That LSU kid's going to be gone. The Jets are going to trade for wide receiver. They're not going to draft one.
He keep playing like this. That kid going to go before Marvin. He keep playing like this. That kid going to go before Marvin the way he racking them up right now. James, there's this kid
Jets aren't going to draft receiver. They're going to trade for one.
James, well, yeah, because James knows Marvin Harrison. So, you know Marvin Harrison from the Colts, your old nemesis. Mm-hmm. James did not like the Colts, but me and him were united in that. Frank did not like the Colts, but Marvin Harrison's son also is a wide receiver, and let me tell you, James, this boy is
phenomenal.
Dog. This boy is a dog.
He's like the best wide receiver prospect since Calvin Johnson.
Like this kid.
Yeah.
James. And James, look at me. Yeah. 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 But this kid on LSU is having one of those seasons where you're just kind of Joe Burrow-ish, where it's just like, where did this come from? Why is he so good? And you watch him play and you're like, man, that could work in the NFL though.
There's 3 top flight wide receivers. It's a kid from LSU, it's Marvin Harrison, and then it's homeboy from FSU.
That other kid, that kid on the other side on LSU is good too, though, Dylan. That kid's good. What year is he? Are they the same year? Are they both junior?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't watched enough LSU football to know the rest of that roster.
The 2 times that I saw LSU play this year, they lost. So I'm all set with LSU. But but I need the Titans to win because I have a bet with Anthony and I need them to win.
Well, the Raiders are going to get their doors blown off this week. So
they're going to come back to earth. But listen, if I have to spin the wheel for the Titans to luck into Marvin Harrison, I will gladly spin the wheel because Will Levis and Marvin Harrison sign me up.
Treylon Burks stinks.
But maybe he'll be better when he doesn't have to be the number 1.
Well,
I know it's not working.
He's probably not going to be on your roster next year.
He's not going to be in the roster. No, I mean he's still cheap. So
no, he's not. He's not cheap. He's a first round pick. He's not cheap.
Considering what he'll be on the team for one more year.
I
Then
think
after that, 2 years from now, yeah, buddy. Yeah.
it just Dylan being right about Treylon Burks is something you need to apologize to me about.
Yeah. Well, he stinks.
Say you're sorry.
I was wrong.
Say you're sorry.
See,
Say you're sorry. No, in English.
I just did.
In English.
No,
No.
I said it I said it
in my native tongue. That's
I didn't say that.
That's racist.
Look at both of you being racist. Look at both of you being racist.
Coming from the racist.
I didn't. I didn't say anything. Y'all are putting words in my mouth.
What do you say? I said it in your native, and then you stopped.
I didn't. I never said native. I never said.
What
native.
Did you say?
I said it in, and then I paused. And you two just native tongue. Yeah, whatever. I didn't say that. All right. Treylon might be a bum. I'm sorry. Might be a bum.
Thank you. This is what we live for. Because Dylan knows ball. Dylan knows ball. I said it when Treylon went in there before he was a Titan. That Treylon Burks is the one wide receiver I stay the fuck away from because he's too damn big to be used as Debo goddamn Samuel.
But I was not happy on draft day when they took him. I was not happy.
Immediately took his back when he was there.
He had on the jersey. What am I supposed to do?
Say a guy sucks when he wears the jersey.
Hope for the best. That's what you do. You hope for the
best. I hope
best.
for the best, and I still admit Zach sucks.
And here we are with Treylon. So
I hope for the best with Lazard. I know Lazard sucks.
You did not hope for the best.
If you're on the team, I want you to do well, right? I want Lazard to do well. It's just watching him drop 40% of the passes that are thrown at him. Goodbye. But you're only here because of Aaron.
Yes.
I don't want to get started on this rabbit hole again.
You have to do the Sunshine and the Jaguars are they in trouble?
No.
Or are the Niners just that much better than them?
The Niners got
the game was not as close as that game was not as close as that. What was it? 34-3.
Yeah, because that's close to begin with.
It wasn't that close.
The Niners needed the extra edge help, and they got it, and it opened up for the guys, the big boys in the middle, and that's horrifying. Now that Niner team can get pressure, their weakness at the corner gets hidden again, and even if it's for a year, just to do this, because this was more so insurance policy to try to secure their Super Bowl run, getting Chase Young to work with Nick Bosa after the previous defensive end that they had, who was getting blocked one-on-one by tight ends, while Nick Bosa is still trying to apply pressure while nobody else is doing anything, is the biggest game changer you could ask for. And all they did was disrupt. So that's not fair to Jacksonville, even though you hate Jacksonville. It's not fair for Jacksonville to be under the fraud watch when they ran into this San Francisco team whose defense is elite. Now that you have, they were already fantastic, very good. Now they're this might be one of the better defenses I've seen.
All I know is I saw, not you, but I saw many analysts having the Jaguars in the top 3 for the AFC, and that was a lie.
No, they were always going to be my fourth seed.
No, not seed. Top 3 team in the AFC.
Well, again, there's only 4 divisions.
That doesn't mean that I'm not talking seed, power rankings.
Oh, power? No.
Yes. No, I saw many analysts have Jacksonville as the 3rd best.
No, the whole
AFC
North. The whole AFC North wipes that away.
That's why I said they are a fraud.
I know, because they're still a playoff team. They're still a playoff team. They're not a fraud. San Francisco is just really fucking good at football. It's okay for teams to lose every once in a while to better teams.
Uh, no, because if that was the case, then we wouldn't be killing the Cowboys. They
No, we
can't
kill
beat
the
a good team. They can't beat a good team. Maybe they're just losing to good teams.
No, it depends. Like Dallas should be chastised for getting the doors blown off them by San Fran because Dallas was supposed to be in that tier, right? Jacksonville is not that tier. So that is a game that's like, if you're Jacksonville, if you can win that game, that's fucking like, yeah, we got that game. But if you lose that game, it's like, probably we weren't supposed to win that game anyway. So it's
But what happens when you get your doors blown off at home? Not a good fraud.
They're a better team. Like they are the elite of the elite. Right?
Fraud.
That's supposed to happen.
Fraud.
That's supposed to happen. It's not like you have two elite teams and one elite team blows the door off. That team could be considered fraudulent. Look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins are the prime example of fraud.
Let's look at the Dolphins. So why are the Dolphins different?
Because
Who's
the Dolphins were thrust into that category.
Who blew their doors off?
Buffalo.
It's a division game, but okay. Did they not hang with Philly on the road?
Yeah, but they lost.
So you can't lose to a good team?
They lost to a good team.
But
they've lost to every good team they played, actually. That's where it's like it's different. Where it's like, okay, Jacksonville loses to San Fran, right? That San Fran elite team. I'm not going to take that away. Let me pull up Jacksonville's schedule.
Doors blown off. Fraud.
So they lose to the Chiefs by 8, right? Okay, you lose that game. You lose to the Texans. You can't lose that game. Even though the Texans are notorious for owning the Jaguars. You can't lose that game. Beat the Falcons, and then you beat the Bills. This is before the Bills had their like downturn for the worse. Actually, this was the game they had where Matt Milano went down. You beat the Colts.
That game was also in London.
Yep. Oh well, both teams got to play. Beat the Saints, and then they beat the Steelers. The Steelers are a good football team. Are they not? Their offense is sus, but they are a good football team.
They have a really good defense and a top 3 coach.
So a good football team.
Not going to disrespect my man Mike Tomlin.
So a good football team. And then they lose to the elite of the elite.
Doors blown off.
Doors blown off of by the elite of the elite.
Fraud.
Where the Dolphins get to the point where it's like every team that was good that they played, they lost. That's where it's a little different. Where you got to put the Dolphins on fraud watch because Jacksonville's beat good teams. The Dolphins have not.
See, as the season goes on.
I mean, the Dolphins have the second half of their schedule to go through, and the Jaguars
That's
schedule.
That's why we're going to see.
The Jaguar schedule isn't horrible. They have a couple tough games, but if they steal one of these Bengals or Ravens games, then it's like, okay, you're not going to be on fraud watch. Like the Dolphins are. Where they lose to every good team.
James, do you know what division the Dolphins play in?
I don't. I'm sorry.
This is why I agree with Rise. You be watching football.
I don't know.
AFC East with Dylan's New York Jets. He knew where I was going
Okay.
with this. That's why he's being so hard on the Dolphins.
No. I said the Dolphins were going to win like 10 plus games this year. The problem is the Dolphins are doing it to themselves, where they're letting the football world do this to them because their strength of schedule, the strength of victory right now is like the lowest in football. And when they finally face good football teams, they lose, but they blow the doors off of the bad football teams. So Steven and I have this saying where it's like there's always, out of all the good football teams, there's always one good bad football team.
So who's
Where
the good bad
the
team?
Dolphins are the good bad football team. Where out of all the good football teams that are in the NFL, the Dolphins are the bad one because they
they're
lose
not.
to all the other good ones.
The Steelers are the good bad football team.
The Steelers beat good teams.
The Steelers are the good bad football team.
If you go just by stats and like numbers, yes. But when you go by wins, losses, no. Because at the end of the day, the name of the game is to win.
But you're
Right?
penalizing the Dolphins for winning.
No, I'm penalizing the Dolphins for losing the tough games. Whereas the Steelers, they beat the Browns. They beat the Ravens. Like, those are two tough games. The Dolphins don't have a tough game win yet. Right?
Nope.
Then the first time they played a tough team, they got the doors blown off of them. So then it was like, okay, maybe this team, maybe we need to take a step back on this Dolphins team.
We're going to see.
You could
We're
drop
gonna see
70 on the
that.
Broncos, but you see the Bills and you lose by 30.
That's looking better and better by the week.
Yeah, because the Broncos are apparently just beating teams now.
Piss
Or
that
maybe the
Broncos
Bills
defense
stink.
off. Piss that defense off. Ravens, Browns. Is that more about the Ravens or the Browns?
The Browns.
I agree.
But
Yeah,
the Browns
okay.
season's over.
I think it is. They are now the Jets.
Watson was elite in that second half. He was damn near perfect in that second half. And to find out that he did it with a broken shoulder and an ankle sprain is ridiculous because he was perfect. He was unbelievable in that second half.
Which is why, because, the media overreacts to everything. I saw a lot today of, was this contract now the worst ever? Is it a waste?
It
And
always
blah,
was.
blah, blah. I mean, it won't, but like the second half of that Ravens game was what they were paying for. And it was looking like, this could be the Browns team that we thought might appear. So I don't know, because
The problem is Deshaun has been so inconsistent this year.
It just pushes another.
Even if they got this same version of Deshaun throughout the year, right? Of just up, down, but like the highs are high. It's not like the Jameis Winston roller coaster where it's just woo. It's just like, hey, you don't fully go all the way down. But if you got that Deshaun Watson, even still, that contract is a bad contract.
That contract was always going to be a bad contract.
Always going to be a bad contract. Now it's an even worse contract because he's hurt. And instead of going with PJ Walker, they're going with Dorian Thompson Robinson. And that's a mistake. That kid's not ready.
I am not going to lie. I'm not familiar with his game. So I know PJ Walker, but I'm not familiar with this.
Dorian Thompson Robinson, rookie quarterback out of UCLA. He had a lot. He was one of the.
You can stop right there. UCLA. He's a Chip Kelly guy. I'm all set. This season's over. I'm all set.
No, he's got talent. He was one of those preseason warriors that people fell in love with. But he's not ready. But he's not ready. That's what I'm saying. He's not ready yet. But he's the talent's there. The talent's there. He's just not ready yet. So that team is going to fall out of the contention. Anthony's going to end up being wrong about the Browns because they're just going to lose a bunch of football games. And we move because he had Deshaun Watson as MVP, right?
Yes, he did.
Good. Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
Oh boy. So okay. Yeah, let's rapid fire. So we knocked that out. Jets lose. You owe Anthony some money. We came together as a family to watch that, and Jets let us down as usual. Was it another big game? Eagles didn't play, did they? I don't.
If you want to get a full recap and coverage of the game, you could watch me Sunday nights, every Sunday, 11:30 live, where we recap the games as they happen.
We will work on getting you a graphic and a banner.
Yes, please.
We will work on that
because the Bretter Boys are at it again every Sunday.
Every Sunday night. Live.
Be there.
Fantasy focus. This will be another moment here. I'm struggling, but there might be a light at the end of the tunnel. Deshaun Watson's gone. Is that Roz?
Roz is in last place.
Is that Roz?
Roz. Yes. You, Roz, and Steven.
You. I saw you up there.
I'm fifth.
You're 500.
Yeah, I'm fine. You, Roz, and Steven are all tied for last place. Right, but if it ended right now, Roz would be in last place spinning that wheel. But this is what I want to highlight. Well, one of the things I want to highlight. I want to highlight a Tannehill to die on. From first to worst. Huh?
Season's
what a story.
Over. Season's not over.
What a story that we have going on here. I also would like to point out Dilstradamus calling for 3 straight.
Revenge tour.
And I get to play Darius this week. And I'm one step closer to knocking him down.
Have fun with that. Darius is always going to minutes.
I beat Darius last time we played. So I need to do it again. And I'm one of the only people to beat fucking V. But last week I ran into the buzzsaw that was Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. And that's why I lost.
Took that L on the chin.
I took a fat L because I had to play the 2 guys in fantasy that decided to erupt that week. Meanwhile, Mike is also fighting to be last place in our basketball league.
Oh, I'm 1 and 2. Relax.
Yeah, but you are getting your doors blown off you right
now. I'm gonna
lose.
I'm gonna lose this week because I don't have anybody playing this week. I've already conceded this week.
You gotta be moving. You gotta be moving. That's why I won last week.
But let's give kudos, even though no, we won't we will not. James is in first place. First person QP. He's in first place.
I'm about to be knocking the Avengers off because I don't know if you've seen what Sabonis is doing right now, but last time I checked, Sabonis had like 75 points.
He had a good game. He had a good game tonight. LeBron had a triple-double, so I'm liking that. I don't know. Do you have an updated score? Hit that scoreboard. I don't know what happened to that. I would say it's right there.
Yeah, you are currently losing by almost
LeBron had
points.
LeBron had a night.
Yeah, Sabonis tonight gave me 75. Evan Mobley gave me 55. Kevin Huerter gave me 64.
I just want to point out we love French being in last place. We love it.
We live for French being in last place. 'Cause what did we say when this happened? What did I say when this happened? I said,
we
I don't think
love
there'd be
it.
anything funnier than Heat Culture spinning that wheel.
We love it.
I'm not laughing with y'all because a lot of y'all was saying a lot of crap about our team.
See, I was being nice, James. Being nice.
It's also
You
still early.
are. It's very early. Smoke and mirrors right now, James. Smoke and mirrors.
Am I? Last week I beat the second highest scoring team in the league.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know what you're talking about, smoke and mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors, James.
That's just Mike hating on me again. That's just Mike hating again.
Smoke and mirrors. It's all it is.
I know you're 2-1.
Cass not looking too hot right now. Cass not looking too hot right now.
She can't catch a break. She's ready. She's literally ready to throw Zach LaVine into the Bermuda Triangle.
Did you say the Bermuda Triangle?
Bermuda.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. It's tough to be that, but don't worry, he'll get traded in like 2 months.
And then it might be good.
Still a lot of
Stop
season
hating,
left.
Mike.
A lot of season to go. Her beating Flo would be great though.
I'm very optimistic about my battle with French right now because I had 4 people not playing tonight and I still outscored them and I'm down 20 points. So very optimistic. One thing I'm not happy about is right now I've been trying to add players all week so far for 3 days and I haven't been able to add a player to my team.
Is it a waiver claim or an ad?
A claim.
Claims you have to wait till the next week. Claims once they play.
And I've tried to add players too.
Is it one of those things where it's like you have too many players at a position?
I don't know, man.
Because that's what happens with me.
But
Whenever I try to add a player, it won't let me if I have too many players at that player's primary position. Waiver claims won't happen till Monday. So that's why it's like if you're going to add and drop players, you can't keep picking up the same people. You have to pick up new people every time you add and drop one.
I tried to add Jalen Suggs, who I've never added on my team, and it came back saying error.
What was the error message?
It's an error.
It just says error.
I was driving. I can't remember what it said after the error, but I definitely tried to add Jalen Suggs earlier today.
3. Because you have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because you have 4 guys listed at point guard on your roster. They may not let you have a 5th unless you're dropping another point guard.
Dropping someone?
Yeah, I was dropping. Who is it?
Also, who are those guys that you have on IR? Because it also may not allow you to do that if those guys are no longer injured.
Oh, you have 2 guys on day to day.
They became uninjured after tonight's game. They were out. That was the only reason why I can.
They're gonna make you drop players. They're gonna make you
No,
drop
I'm
players.
not
I
gonna
was trying to do that before this. They were out tonight's game. They were out. Now they're day to day because of the tomorrow. It's the next day. You can't add a day to day player to IR.
Yep. So they're gonna have you drop players to move those guys back to your bench,
which is fine.
Kevin Durant giving you 58. Malik Beasley giving you 54.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Bilal Koulibaly giving you 31.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe White 1.
Terrible.
Meanwhile, I'm blowing the fucking doors off this fucking guy. We love it. Get my groove. Shout out to Cam Thomas.
Kobe White isn't on my team. He's on
No,
French's
he's
team.
on French. That's why I was like, yikes, 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fantasy focus.
Right. All right. Well, let's wrap this baby up. I'm him.
I'll go
Go
first. I'm him. Draymond Green.
Yeah. We love it.
I heard choking cats out. I like it. It still was a cheap shot. Gobert did not deserve it.
Shout out to Draymond
Just
Green
was
for
a
choking
just
that
a
French
casualty
fuck.
at war. It was a casualty at war.
Shocker, the French not wanting to
None of
participate
business.
in war.
Whoa,
Save me,
whoa.
save me.
I'm out of here.
I'm French.
I'm outta
I'm
here.
French. I can say this.
I'm out of
I
here.
am.
No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want
My
to hear
mother's
it.
French. My mother is
I don't want to
French.
hear it. I don't want to hear it.
My mom's not French.
When they approach you speaking French, asking you what was that you was talking the other day,
And then I will go to Google Translate and say, y'all are pussies. Now let me stop.
And you called me racist.
Racist to my own kind.
Dylan down here.
I'm just the Uncle Ruckus, but to French people. All right, my turn. I'm him. In honor of me wearing my my New York Yankees quarter zip. First Cy Young of his career, Mr. Garrett Cole.
Coltrane.
Shout out to my
Hopefully we can
guy.
honor him next season.
Yeah, hopefully we do something and we go make this team better. And trade for Juan Soto. Go Yankees.
I'll take Juan Soto.
Juan Soto and Yamamoto. Bring them both.
I would take Juan Soto. I can't wait to hear Raj yelling about him striking out 200 times. But
Or just hitting a pop up into right field and it's a home run. So we could do that. Just get power lefties. It works.
yeah, run hard to first.
Rod's being upset that what is it? Giancarlo Sanchez is here
his agent is mad at Cashman. Yeah,
and then Yamamoto is the same agent.
Mm-hmm. And of course, that just all Raj needed.
Cashman's fault.
Raj just not being happy. Never reports the good things. Just all the bad and negative.
Just all the negative.
It's a pessimistic.
I can see it right now. Raj scrolling on his phone, seeing the Garrett Cole news, and just scrolling right past it. And he has a hat on, just fixing his hat, like
just rolls his eyes. Like, it just keeps it pushing.
just going past it. Just keeps going.
Cashman was a good GM. We'd have the Cy Young and the second place for Cy Young. Cashman doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, we'd have both. And the chip.
He's the most
I'm
spoiled sports fan I've ever seen.
Yes, that's badly. I'm him for me for this week. I don't want to reward Draymond. But I feel like he
But-
did all. But I feel like he did what we all want to do.
I'm not.
Because now
I'm not on that. I'm not on that train. I don't know why everybody does not like Gobert. What is going on?
he started COVID. What do you mean? He started COVID. The whole country shut down because of this man.
This sounds like the best defensive player of the year of all time. No longer shutting down NBA players. He shut down the whole goddamn world.
He shut down the whole country, the whole world. He just shut it all down, James. His defense is unmatched. But
You guys done getting your jokes off?
Never.
no, not on this podcast. No. But I'm him. No, you don't. We're gonna keep the train rolling, even though we all came together as a family. I don't care. I'm him. Goes to Antonio Pierce. 2-0. Keep getting those dubs for as long as you can.
No. That's bad for you.
It's bad.
You don't
for
want
me,
him to
but
keep getting those dubs.
I am an Antonio Pierce fan. So
So let me tell you what's
I'm
going to
happy
happen.
for him.
Antonio Pierce is going to win a few games. They're going to consider him for the job, and they're just going to let him walk.
And they're not going to give it to him. I know.
They're not going to give it to
Hopefully
him.
this
They're going to
propels
fire
him to
everybody.
another job.
They're going to get rid of Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, and they're just going to move. And they're going to start a rebuild. They're going to start a rebuild. And Anthony's be mad because they didn't stick with Aiden O'Connell. And then when they draft a quarterback that's not Aiden O'Connell, is going to say Aiden O'Connell sucked and was never good.
Waiting for that.
Because he was real quiet when Aiden O'Connell threw that interception.
Honorable mention, I'm him, LeBron James, second oldest ever to have a triple-double in NBA history. You're going to miss
I was
him when he's
trolling when I
gone.
gave it to Draymond Green. It should have been Anthony Edwards, but it seems like no one wants to give it to him.
Shout out to Anthony Edwards for not helping Rudy Gobert.
Doing what we all love, not helping.
Look at James. He's like, I thought the jokes were done.
Saw that and gave minimal effort, as we all would have, as he was getting choked out. Anthony Edwards doing his best Herb Dean impression. I'll let him die. I'll let him die before I pull him off. So yeah. All right. That's I'm him. Fellas, want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shut it down.
Shut it down.
All right. Well, from us to you, we say adieu and good
Go
night.
Nets, go Jets.